every single Friday. At Toots Restaurants, our quality has not changed.
Our portions have not changed.
Our products have not changed.
Good morning, Rutherford County. It's time to get up and at 'em. Wake Up Saturday with Dalton Barrett on News Radio WGNS.
That's going to do it here for me on Wake Up Saturday. Coming up right now, we're going to hear from your local high school coaches on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's.
This is Primetime Sports, WGNS Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, streaming worldwide on WGNSSports.com, and always at the game. The game. It's where you've had breakfast with the coaches since 1992. It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner. We'll talk to the coaches about their most recent games and their upcoming opponents. Now from News Radio WGNS, it's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome in as we crank up the coaches' conversation here for Saturday, October 21st. Week 10 of high school football is in the books, and we're gearing up unbelievably for the final week of the regular season here in high school football. Week 11 is coming up, and some high-stakes games on the schedule this coming week. We're going to be talking with all the coaches about those here this morning as we've got all the conversation straight ahead. Let me just give you the let's set the table first here this morning. How about that? Breakfast, you know. Never mind. This morning, Riverdale first up at 8 o'clock. Will Kreisky already in the house here this morning. Smyrna will be on at 8:15, and we will have offensive coordinator Mark Williams joining us here this morning. The brother of head coach Matt Williams. He's the offensive coordinator, the OC, and he'll be on at 8:15. 8:30, Blackman. At 8:45, we'll have Vergne. 9 o'clock, Oakland. 9:15, Stewarts Creek. 9:30, Rockvale. And at 9:45, Siegel. 10 o'clock, Eagleville. And then it's orange and white conversation, MTCS Cougar Corner at 10:15 here this morning. So got a lot to do today. And a recap of the scores from last night. We were over at Siegel and a very nice senior night. And Craig Revis, I'm not sure if he got overtime pay because he started at 6 o'clock last night or just a little bit after. They had senior night, and then they had recognition of the SRO program and really nice ceremony. I've got some video on our website at WGNSradio.com if you'd like to look back at some of that as they recognized the first 5 SROs in the county. It's the 30th anniversary of the SRO program, and Sheriff Truman Jones, former Sheriff Truman Jones, was there and had the game ball, and all of that took place in the pregame ceremonies. And Riverdale spoiled that night for them, however, 49-7, the Warriors with the victory. Smyrna went to Antioch and gets the 30-26 victory, and the Smyrna Bulldogs claim the region championship with that big victory on the road. It was Rockvale. A 27-22 win over Blackman, and boy, what a crazy game that was. We're going to talk to both of those coaches here this morning, and what does that mean for the region and what's coming up. Oakland goes to Ravenwood and defeats the Raptors 42-18. Oakland got down 12-0 in that game, and the first quarter was not great for the Patriots, and then they score 35 unanswered and go on to win 42-18 last night. Stewarts Creek 21, Vergne 7. By the way, Ravenwood had only lost one game, and they were ranked number 8 in the state. So that tells you a little bit. Stewarts Creek 21-7, a bounce-back win for the Creek in last night's game, and a region win. Eagleville 33, Richland 0. Sent Richland packing last night. And MTCS a winner over PCA 41-0. Next week, Thursday, Friday slate. We've got 3 Thursday games and the rest of the games on Friday. That will allow us to take our microphones to MTCS on Thursday night. So we'll have Primetime Sports presented by Ideas Tees at 6 o'clock. At 6:50, our pregame show right before MTCS versus Eagleville Harding. It'll be myself and John Dinkins, and then Rod Edwards after Primetime Sports will come out and join us and help us with some defensive stats. And that will be coming up on WGNS Thursday night. Then Friday night, it's the Battle of the Borough from Oakland High School on WGNS. Other games, Blackman will host Coffee County. It'll be Laverne versus Antioch. It will be Siegel at Rockvale. Huge game right there. And Smyrna will be at Cane Ridge, and it will be Stewarts Creek versus McGavick. So there you go, a slate of the games coming up next week. We've got a lot to talk about this morning, and the coaches are standing by. The donuts from Donut Country are here. The coffee and sausage biscuits from McDonald's Murfreesboro are here, and so are you. So we're glad to have you this morning. Let's jump into the conversation after this break. Will Kreisky from Riverdale joins us here on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating local athletes here in Rutherford County. Experts in joint, bones, and muscles. And with over 65 specialists, TOA has a playbook to get you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life.
How about a fix for your sweet tooth? Donut Country is open 24 hours a day to cure your cravings. They've been serving up the freshest donuts in Murfreesboro since 1978. There's just something different about donuts from Donut Country. Bo and Cindy Davis and their wonderful staff will greet you with a smile, and you'll see all donuts aren't created equal. Fresh donuts anytime you want them 24/7 at Donut Country on Memorial down from Clark. And they're open each morning on Middle Tennessee Boulevard. Check out their Facebook page for specials and promotions. Nothing else compares to Donut Country. Open 24 hours.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
This is a paid legal ad.
When a family member is lost as a result of someone else's negligence, the grief can be unbearable. It also leaves you with a lot of questions like, how did this happen? Who's responsible? And is my family going to be okay? That's a lot to go through, but with the law offices of John Day on your side, you don't have to go through any of it alone. We understand what you're going through, and we have the experience to get the answers, justice, and compensation your family deserves. Call the law offices of John Day.
This is Primetime Sports, WGNS Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com. The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
Well, the Coach's Show is brought to you by Parks Auction Company. Let their team of experienced and professionally trained staff utilize the auction process to sell your property. Find out more at parksauction.com. It's time to talk some Riverdale football this morning. The head coach, Will Kreisky, joins us here in studio. And, Coach, went on the road in the region. That's always tough. I don't care where you go. And got the win last night. Congrats on that.
Appreciate it. It is. It's always tough to go over to Siegel and play. Last few years, Siegel's come down to it's almost been a 1 or 2 score game. They've always played us really tough, and I was proud of the guys the way they come out early and started the game. I thought they, I was really worried coming off of last week after a very emotional, high game, high intense, emotional battle with Blackman, and then coming over and playing Siegel. And I was really proud. I thought the kids did a great job all week in practice, focused at the task at hand. I really challenged them and said if they wanted to secure a home field spot, they had to take care of Siegel. And I think the seniors did a great job leading the team this week to just focus on Siegel and not look ahead to what's coming up this week for the Battle of the Borough.
That would be so easy to do. And we talked about that in the pregame show last night. You know, you have your backyard brawl, the Kreisky Bowl, the brothers, and all that, and then turn around and, you know, your immediate thoughts are, well, this Oakland game's looming. But there's a game in between that's just as important and would take away from what that last Week 11 game means if you have a slip up there.
You're exactly right. And you know, the kids were hearing a lot of outside noise, you know, people talking, you know, Battle of the Borough, you know, all this and that. And that's what I bragged on them last night. I was really proud of how they stayed focused of what they needed to accomplish, and that was to take care of Siegel so they could secure the home field spot and then start looking now. Now we can look at Oakland and prepare ourselves for that game. And that's what we asked these kids to do. You know, a few weeks, I say a few weeks, I guess it's been about a month and a half when we're sitting there 2-2. You know, we beat Smyrna, beat Beach, and lost to Henry County and Germantown, and 2-2. And I said, guys, trust the process, stay the course, let's keep working, and let's be a team and come together and let the chips fall where they fall and give ourselves an opportunity. And that's what they did. We're playing for the region championship next Friday night. And I can't tell you the last time that Week 10 Riverdale has been in it to an opportunity to play for the region championship. And I don't know. I know 2012 is the last time we won it with Coach Adelot. And these kids have given themselves the opportunity to come out and play. Now they're gonna have to play really good. You know, Coach Creasy and what he does over there, and and all the 3 backs he's got, and the 2 quarterbacks he's got, and the big line he has up front. But our kids are gonna be ready for the challenge, and they're excited.
2012. That's 13 years ago or something like that. You know, I mean, just think about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the history between those two schools, we're going to get into that. I don't
jumped ahead a little bit.
I don't want to jump the gun too much because that the Battle of the Borough is something that's very, very special. But I thought last night your guys came out poised. You know, really. Had a couple of great series and really kind of put the pressure on Siegel, who I thought had a really good defensive game plan against your offensive team, you know, because your guys are really hard to defend, just to be honest. Yeah, they did a good job, and they put us in some tough spots, but I thought Braden Graham did a good job leading the offense. You know, the offensive line did a great job. It didn't matter, DJ Taylor, Jalen Thompson, or Isaiah Verser, they were picking up the blitz and did a good job helping with blocking. You know, the O-line's did a great job, and you know, and then when DJ is coming back and he ran the ball well last night. Jalen Thompson, again, we had to use him before fall break back there at tailback due to injuries, and he stayed back there and he rushed for a touchdown last night. And you know, again, Braden Graham got the ball to Ben Woodruff. Of course, Brock Montgomery, I had over 130 yards receiving. You know, Keyshawn Williams had had a touchdown, and a couple good receptions last night. And you know, Braylon Vanderbilt had a touchdown. So they did a good job getting the ball around, spreading it around, and giving all their guys an opportunity on offense to get the ball. And it was good to see. I told somebody last night, it's been a long time. We were at the 3-yard line at one point, backed up. You know, we had that holding call after Ben had that long catch. And a lot of times in the past, we couldn't get ourselves out of those situations. And we took it 97 yards for a touchdown. And the kids didn't panic when they were on. Used to, they would panic when our backs would be against the wall. And they just settled down and they believed and they drove the ball and did a good job. They're playing well as a team, and that's what I keep stressing them. If you want to keep playing this game this year, you have to play as a team. And that's what it's about. You don't see, if you watch when a kid scores, the other ones are, the one who didn't score that touchdown is celebrating more than the kid that scored. Yeah. And that's what I like to say. That's what I watch. Brock does a great job. Keyshawn does a great job with that. And of course, Ryan Edmiston, he doesn't matter what teammate has success. He's out there celebrating. And that's what these seniors have created for this team this year, and they're showing the unselfish attitude.
and that's helped them achieve their goals and give them this opportunity to play for next week.
Will Kreisky is with us this morning talking Riverdale football. You mentioned a couple of things here that I want to kind of hone in on. You talked about DJ and Jalen getting some carries. You're adding people to your run game, which is only going to help open up your passing game, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And you know, I mean, I like it when they're all on the field at the same time.
Yeah.
You got Keyshawn, you got Brock, you got Jalen, you got JT, Ben. I mean, even Ben, you know, and Braylon Vanderbilt. All those guys are creating opportunities because they're working in practice, and that success is carried over to the game. So when you have all those options, it's harder to defend. So again, they got to keep working, keep believing, and keep doing things. You know. Odie last night had another interception. You know, he doesn't play any, but he's catching the ball well on defense. I mean, he had a good return. You know, so again, that's another thing that I don't know if you've noticed this year. We're not having to play a whole lot of guys both ways. So in practice, we're getting really good work against each other. And that's helped us develop as the season moved along.
You mentioned being backed up to the 3 and getting a score out of that. Another thing that happened, about a minute and a half left in the game, you not only score, but then you get an interception and you wind up scoring again before the half. And that deflates a team. It also ignites the team that happens to. And when you can have quick scores like that, that makes your team dangerous.
Yeah, the offensive staff have done a really good job being able to move the ball really quick. That's the second week in a row we've been able to put the ball in with about a minute to go before half, and like you said, and then we get the ball coming out of half. So you know that, like you said, that could really put a damper spirit to the other team. And I thought our guys did really well with that and stayed. They in those situations they stay calm because we had Braden Graham stayed in bounds on one of his scramble runs right before half. Call a timeout. They didn't panic. 18 seconds left, and they got the ball in the end zone, and that's all you ask them to do.
Yeah, and that made it 35-0, and then a running clock. A lot of those things kind of play with the mind of the opponent. You know, if you come out knowing that the clock's going to run in the second half, all these kind of things, you know, and Siegel, you know, losing their quarterback had to be, you know, just devastating, but you know, they gave you some good licks last night, and always well coached with Adam Renshaw. I don't think there's a better guy in the world than Adam, so, you know, I think better days are ahead for them. But congrats on the win last night. Now you get a chance to turn the page to the one, I think, Coach, people have had circled since July.
Yeah, they have. They've had this one circled for a while, and, you know, everybody that's tried to talk about this game, I've ignored them, blown them off because – there was 9 other games I had to worry about, and 9 other weeks we had to focus on. And I'm a coach that I look at one game at a time. I look at the opponent we're facing that week. I can't look ahead. That's just not in my mentality. You know, I don't care who we're playing. But yes, you know, Corey Carney. I don't know if you remember that name. But
I do.
He's already been texting me. He started texting me 6:30 this morning, fired up, and he's rounding up his boys and talking to them and. Yeah, it's a lot of people in the community talking about it. This is good for Murfreesboro. You know, I mean, it's the old school. It's the Riverdale Oakland. It's Oakland 8-1, Riverdale, you know, 7-2. I mean, come on, and it's for a region championship. Coach Creasy's and the football program's going to make a lot of money next week. It's going to be standing room only, and I'm excited for his program and our program for our kids to be in that atmosphere. I'll never forget in 2009 my first Riverdale Oakland game at Riverdale, and there was nowhere you could stand. That game was so packed, and it was unbelievable. And I think that's going to have that feel next week.
Those are great atmospheres. You're going to have nerves. I mean, all of that's going to be part of it. Same on the other side too. I mean, that's just what it is. There's no need for rah-rah speeches this week, I wouldn't think.
No, there's not. Again, you know, I've already talked about what Coach Creasy and his team has. You know, DeJuan Morris I think he's a Mr. Football candidate. He's running the ball well. And then you got 2 quarterbacks over there, you know, that he's rotating, you know, a sophomore and a junior. You know, I just named 3 kids, and they're all going to get back. They're all young kids. And for Coach Creasy to have that type of success with those young kids is really impressive. And I think the majority of his offensive line come back next year. I mean, they're big, physical up front, and you know, they got a lot of kids. You know, I think Bronson Crisp, the DB's playing very well over there for them, and they're doing a lot of good things. Avery Hainsworth has come back, you know, and that's another running back. And then you got Ashton Jones. So
I keep seeing some pub, you know, they're getting some people that have been hurt healthy. And, you know, a healthier Oakland means a tougher situation, I would think.
You're exactly right. And but, you know, they're going to have all their guys ready. We'll have our guys ready. We'll have fun. So, you know, it's going to be tough. And I told the guys, you know, it starts with believing, and they got to go in and believe, and they can do it. And I think they do. I know they do. This group got a little chip on their shoulders, so they'll be ready to play.
Well, for all of us old-timers, Coach, and I guess I have to consider myself an old-timer since this is, you know, 30 years of doing this, having it Week 11, last week of the regular season, like it had been for many, many years, you know, it means, it just seems to mean more being the last game of the regular season.
Yeah, and again, it's going to be a time where everybody's fired up and ready to go, and you know, it's a big, great atmosphere.
Yeah,
you know, so we're excited, kids are excited, and we're ready to roll.
Less sleep this week for you? You probably.
Oh, I don't get any sleep. My wife. Heck, I was telling the guys before I come in the studio last night. My wife, she didn't say congratulations. She said, "Why'd you give up 7 points?" You know, and then I got Miss Blair telling me this turf looks really nice. So you know, it's tough bargain over at Riverdale, but again, they're all doing a great job and everybody's enjoying it. It's high standards, man. That's what you want.
Well, you'll get your pats on the back sometime later, right?
Exactly.
Coach, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
That is Will Kreisky joining us this morning on the Coach's Show, brought to you by Dan France Concrete, a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete contractor serving Middle Tennessee. That's Dan France Concrete.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We'd like to welcome you to our door.
If you're a homeowner with a quarter acre or several, Las Casas Feed Supply focuses on premium feeds and dog foods you won't find in the box stores.
Nutrition is our specialty here at Las Casas Feed.
Family owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, inviting you to stop by, visit, and enjoy the country.
Customer service and expertise that exceeds your expectations.
Las Casas Feed is also your place for local milk from the MTSU Dairy on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East in Las Casas.
With all the financial headlines, are you wondering if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. Hi, I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin. If you have more questions than answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. Stop by our office in the Public Shopping Center on South Rutherford Boulevard or give us a call at 615-907-7056. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
We're back here on the Coach's Show, brought to you by Rayburn Insurance Agency in Smyrna, an independent agency offering auto, home, business, and life insurance since 1973. Find out more at rayburn.net. It's time to talk some Smyrna football this morning. Offensive coordinator Mark Williams joins us, and if that last name sounds familiar, it's the same last name as the head coach, Matt Williams. Mark joining us here today. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Doing well. How are you doing?
Doing really well. You know, you kind of have a similar deep voice like that brother of yours.
Yeah, we've been accused of that once or twice before.
Kind of runs in the family, huh?
It does. It does.
Well, went down to Antioch and took care of business in a huge game, and you know, I can't remember the number of people that I have told this to last night and this morning, but you know, after the first 4 weeks, Coach, I don't know that there were many people maybe outside of your inner circle there that thought you would have a chance to play for a region championship this year, you know?
Yeah, you know, from where these guys have come to where they are now, it's amazing. You know, it's a testament to our kids and their belief and the coaching staff and, you know, just all hanging there as one team. But, you know, they believed and they keep believing and they keep doing some good things, and hopefully, you know, we keep doing that.
You know, and the way you're winning games. I mean, this is like Field of Dreams stuff, you know, when things happen. Like last week in a 19-18 win over rival Stewarts Creek, you know, in the Mayor's Cup. And then, you know, this week versus Antioch, who is all of a sudden, you know, everyone is on the Antioch bandwagon, and you have to go to their place, you know. I mean, it's and you had to face some adversity last night, and a pretty good, very young quarterback from what I understand there.
Oh, wow. You know, first let me say about Antioch, they well-coached team, night and day basically. And, you know, Andre Adams, their quarterback, ninth grade, he's legit and a really good program. And, you know, our wins these last 3 weeks have been it's not doing my heart any good. I can tell you that right now. It's tough on the ticker, but, you know, just see these guys grind out wins and do that makes you happy as a coach. And it lets you know what you're doing is right. It lets you know what your kids see, and they believe in things, and they believe in themselves, and they believe in each other, which is huge for our program. And, you know, we obviously need to start doing some things better in the first half. But, you know, the way they answer the bell in the second half is huge.
I think, the last 2 weeks, it's been the go-ahead score in the last less than 2 minutes to play in the game, if I remember correctly.
It is. It has been, you know, and a lot of credit to our defense, too, for, you know, being able to get us the ball in those situations and have an opportunity to go down and score. And, you know, ever since I've coached with Matt, you know, we've always really worked on our 2-minute drill, our hurry-up offense at the end, because – you know, it's one of those things a lot of people don't think about, and you're never going to be perfect in the 2-minute drill, but you want to be able to handle that situation and have your kids, you know, comfortable in that situation. So I think our kids have done a good job with that so far.
Mark, I know you've probably had a few different times, but how long have you coached with Matt?
Well, we got an opportunity back in 2005. We both went to Blackman with Bobby Wells. And we coached together there for 3 years. That was the first time we ever coached together. He was the defensive coordinator, and I was the offensive coordinator. And, you know, that was really fun. And then when he got the job at Smyrna, I went over there with him as the offensive coordinator and coached 3 years with him there. And then I went to be head coach at Gallatin, and then, you know, came back. So I think all together, looking at it, we coached together probably 11 or 12 years. And it's a fun opportunity to get to coach with your brother.
I can imagine, and I'm sure that your blood runs pretty purple right about now, huh?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, no doubt. It's a great place to be. It's a wonderful environment. Got great kids at Smyrna High School, and you know the program that Matt's had there has, you know, always been competitive. Always coached well, and so it's a fun place to coach, fun place to be at, and, you know, very happy to be a Bulldog.
Sherry Sutherland was on one of our weekday shows this week and was talking about that, new indoor facility that's being built there, and that's going to be the envy of everybody here in Rutherford County. I can't wait to come out and take some video and pictures of that place. I mean, it's something else, and the way she talked about it with such pride and all. I know that's going to be really, really special, and so a lot of great things happening at Smyrna. And with the 0-4 start, now 5-4 coach, you've got a 4-0 record. Still one game to go, and we're going to talk about that. But last night, just a few players with some stats here. We're going to talk, I guess, a lot offensively here with you. But Thomas Jones, 13 carries, 95 yards, had a couple of touchdowns, and indeed had that go-ahead touchdown with less than 2 minutes to play in the win last night.
Yeah, you know, Thomas is just a wonderful kid. But what do you say about a kid that, you know, has played receiver his whole time at Smyrna, you know, on the offensive side of the ball? And we had a need this year at running back, and he never hesitated one bit. And that's just the type of person he is. And he jumped right in there. And he's given us some great looks. He really picked it up in the second half last night when we needed him to, and had some really good runs, some tough runs. You know, sometimes it was tough sledding last night, but he, you know, kept his chin up and worked hard, and you know, there towards the end of the game, you know, had some really good runs and iced the deal at the very end.
think it was also important to have Austin Morris perform well, not only throwing the ball, which he was 17 of 23 for 173 yards and a touchdown, but his 10 rushes for over 50 yards were hugely important because that kind of, made the defense as well kind of look at him not only keying on Jones, and that had to be a really big deal for you guys.
It is. Anytime you can, take pressure off your running back, and not only that, but it helps your offensive line, and Austin did a really good job. We made a few adjustments at halftime, and, he came out and had 2 great runs for first downs back-to-back there at in the second half, and did a really good job of reading some things and making some things happen. But anytime, your quarterback can have any success running the ball, it just helps your offense out a lot.
Well, Mark, I don't know if you're a baseball guy or not, but if your football team had, like baseball has a closer, the last 2 weeks that's been Michael Robinson, because he shut it down with with an interception both weeks to really kind of seal the deal for you guys.
Yeah, he's definitely been Johnny on the spot last 2 weeks. Getting 2 interceptions, and from a very ever since he was a sophomore, we knew he had a knack to find the ball and be around the ball, and he's certainly done that. And he's done a great job. Had a touchdown reception last night as well. So 2 big weeks for Michael Robinson there, and just proud of the effort he gave last night. We had several guys, contribute. Tyreek McCarver, Xavier Watkins, a lot of guys on the offensive ball, but Michael Robinson did a great job the last 2 weeks of, kind of sealing the deal and icing it at the end of the game when we needed him to.
Well, Coach, usually if you go by recent history, the Week 11 matchup with Cane Ridge is the one that everybody has been circling since you've been in that region. But this year, that not necessarily the case. But let me tell you, Cane Ridge is still in the hunt. They're right there in third place. And they've got a lot to play for. They want to secure a playoff spot, and they've got an opportunity to do that. So as big as last night was and puts you in the number 1 spot, you still have some business to take care of, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. Coach Woods over there at Cane Ridge does a fantastic job, obviously. You just go back and look at the years they've had at Cane Ridge and the excellent teams they put out there. We've got to go back to work this week, and I think that's been our mentality every week. We celebrate it for 24 hours, and then we're back to work. But Cane Ridge is a well-coached football team. We're going to get their best shot, and so we definitely can't overlook this game right here, and we got to go in, and make sure we do everything we need to prepare good for a really good Cane Ridge football team.
But we do know that even if worst case scenario there is a loss, you're still going to be the number 1 team, right?
Yeah, we secured that last night, and which is huge. The playoff implications that it has is really big for us. This year we go back to Williamson County, and a lot of good football over there, and there's a big difference between playing a 4 seed or a 3 seed. So we're really glad to seal that last night.
Yeah, looks like you're looking at the loser of next week's Summit Independence game, but that's for next week, Coach.
Right.
I got Cane Ridge on the brain, so
exactly.
Mark, I appreciate you spending some time with us. Come by, talk with us anytime. It's always a pleasure.
We appreciate you guys and everything you do for our schools, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you. That is Mark Williams, the offensive coordinator for the Smyrna Bulldogs, on the Coach's Show, brought to you by Dr. Automotive, the cure for your car. Professional auto repair and maintenance from ASE certified mechanics and master mechanics. Check them out online at autorepairsmyrna.com.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Rayburn Insurance in Smyrna.
Come see me, Rick Hall, at Rayburn Insurance in downtown Smyrna today.
Online at rayburn.net.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom design jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northville Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
We're back here on the Coaches Show, and this segment here of Blackman football is brought to you by Middle Tennessee Electric, serving our community by providing affordable, reliable, and safe electricity. Online at MTE.com. Matt Kreisky joins us here in studio, and last night it was the Rockvale Rockets defeating the Blackman Blaze 27-22 in a back and forth, just crazy contest last night. Coach, I can say this because I have as much hair as you do. If you had any, you'd lose it, wouldn't you?
That's right. That was just one of those games. It's a great high school game. That's what Rutherford County's football is all about. You know, we knew it was going to be a tough matchup against Rockvale, and we knew we had to execute on offense, you know, and play good defense to win. We made some crucial mistakes during the game that we felt like really cost us. Had some penalties that I thought were uncharacteristics of us, that some things that we harp on all the time. You know, you can't, you know, like I said, beginning thing, it's just the little things. You know, you got to take care of the little things, and when you take care of the little things all week in practice, and they carry over to Friday night. So, you know, we got one more chance, one more guaranteed game next Friday. We got to take care of business all week in practice, and we got to go out and get a victory against Coffee County, and then see what happens after that.
You know, your schedule with Riverdale and then Rockvale back to back. I mean, that's two emotional games. But then when you think about it, you know, who else are you going to put there in the region? I mean, they're all emotional region games, aren't they?
They are, and you know, that's what the beauty of being here in Rutherford County. You know, it is what it is, and we got to get up and ready to play each and every week. You know, you could have a you know, a team that you know that you're going to beat easily, but I'd rather play a team that's going to challenge us, get us better, and make us improve upon the next week.
You know, I think for someone who hasn't been in a similar situation, and I think Williamson County is similar in that I think it could be tough for a first-year coach. But you've been in, you know, a place where it's pretty intense, and it's really intense here in terms of region play.
It is. I thought one of the neat things about last night, we were walking from the locker room and getting heckled by Rockvale student sections. You know, that's that's what high school football is about, and it's pretty neat. They've got a great student section, just like ours, and that makes it fun. Makes it fun for the players. You know, you get a good Friday night atmosphere.
And you know that from a school that's only been here 4 years, you know, and it's just really amazing how that can happen. Well, you know, every time I would look and see the scores in last night's game, it was, you know, one answer and then another blow and then a 2-point conversion and then one that's not, and it was a 1-point game. I mean, it had to be just frustrating at times and exhilarating at times.
It was. It was very emotional. You know, I thought the kids, you know, they played hard. You know, we ask them every week, you know, to you know, last week we said we want you to win every rep, win every play. I think they went out there and did the best they could and tried to accomplish our goal. That's part of life. So, sometimes that you're able to achieve things, and sometimes you've got to you don't get what you want. You got to go back the next week and go back to work and get better to achieve the goal that you want. All year long, ever since I got here in March, we've been preaching we want the 11th game. So now we've got to win Friday night, and we've got to have a little help, and hopefully we'll be able to get that 11th game that we've been talking about all year.
I'm sure this one is a little tough and probably still very raw this morning, just because you led a great deal of the game after the end of the first quarter. I think you scored right before the first quarter ended last night and went up 8-0, and then Rockvale scores in the second, but then, you know, with just right before halftime, you put a score on the board and lead 15-7. That was an important score right there right before half, wasn't it?
It was. You know, that shows the resilience of our offense. Carter Gregory was able to connect with Jaden Guy, and he was able to make a great catch and get an end zone for us, and that was huge going into halftime. You know, then we come out second half. Rockvale made some great adjustments defensively. We struggled to move the ball. You know, I felt like towards the end, the fourth quarter, if we could have got it, you know, a first down, we could probably put the game away. But we weren't able to capitalize on it. You know, gave the ball back to them. They were able to drive it down and score. Then we had another opportunity, and they were able to execute an onside kick.
Yeah, so they wind up tying it in the third, and then first half of the fourth quarter, I mean, it's just kind of trading blows and you know, back and forth. And once you score with about just under 6 minutes to go, it was their score with 1:20.
Yes,
but the 2-point conversion was no good, and that's when the onside kick comes.
Yes. We thought, you know, we stopped them there. Felt really good with the 2-point conversion, but at the end of the day, that was one play. We had to refocus and get ready for the onside kick, and you know, they executed perfectly. So you know, tip our hats off to them. They did a great job. They never quit or gave up. And same with our kids. You know, I don't think we did either. You know, that's just, it's part of it. Again, like I've mentioned numerous times already on the show, you know, we got one more opportunity, one more guaranteed opportunity, finish up strong. You know, I told the underclassmen last night, you got to give this week in practice, give everything that you have for these seniors. Let them go off on a victorious at home Friday night, senior night for them. These group of seniors have been through a lot. I'm their third head coach at Blackman, so it would be nothing but nice to send them off with a victory Friday night.
As a coach, you know, when the seconds are there and it's a one-score game and the opponent needs the football back, you know that's going to be an onside kick. You just know it.
Yes.
And you know it's part of football, but it's also one of those things you practice it, but you really have no idea what's going to happen on that play. None. You can coach the best you can do and coach them up, but it's just very unpredictable.
It is. You know, we every week we practice our hands team, and it was a heck of a kick, and it just went, you know, right through our guy's leg, and you know, our returner that was deep tried to come up and get it, and we teach him to knock it out of bounds. He wasn't able to get there before the Rockvale guy got there to recover it.
When that ball starts bouncing and going every which, I mean, you just never know. It's one of the crazy things of this sport. Well, you've said it a couple of times this morning. It is a time to turn the page, and you've got a huge opportunity here this next week as you have your last game of the regular season. It's a home game versus Coffee County. I'm assuming senior night and all that stuff. I think you just said that as well. But it's also a region game. What does this region game mean for you? And in terms of playoffs, I'm assuming it's a must-win too.
It is. It's must-win. This is the last guaranteed opportunity. We're going to come back Monday, get focused. Staff and myself has already turned the page and started working on Coffee this morning. That they got a good team. They're big up front. They seem like a very physical team. We've got to match their physicality. We got to come out ready to play all 4 quarters and execute the game plan offensively and defensively to give ourselves an opportunity to win.
Coach, there, if I'm not mistaken, and number one, Blackman win. We know that has to happen, but I think there are some scenarios that could end up in some kind of tie or whatnot. It's really weird. You really can't concern yourself with that stuff, can you?
No, we have no control of that. We got to take care of ourselves and what we need to do to put ourselves in a position to hopefully get that 11th game.
There's been a lot of work, obviously, from summer and all of that leads up. It's hard to believe, but to this one game versus Coffee County, to then have the chance to have one more game and then a chance to have one more game. That's what football is. There are no more guarantees.
That's right. Our guarantee was last night. If we would take care of business, we would be in a good situation going into again to Coffee County. But it is what it is, and so we got to move on and take care of ourselves and put ourselves in a great position for it.
I'm sure there's a happy medium, Matt, to, kids are smart enough. I mean, they have to know. I mean, so but how do you don't want to put too much pressure, but they obviously need to know what they need to do. So how do you but these guys are smart, obviously. So, I mean, how will you handle that this week with them?
We're going to prepare like it's any other game. I don't want to put too much pressure on them. So any added pressure to 16, 17, 18-year-olds, that could cause some type of effect. But we're going to practice like we've been doing all year long and get ready for Friday night.
You also don't want to overlook a Coffee County team who is not they're not looking at a Week 12 and a playoffs. This is their playoff game.
Yep. If they can win Friday night against Blackman High School, that would make their season. They're going to come out on ready to go and prepared, and so we've got to match their intensity and take care of business.
Well, senior night, Matt Kreisky, appreciate you joining us here this morning, and take care of those Red Raiders from Coffee County, all right?
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me on this
Appreciate
morning.
it. The Blackman Blaze head coach Matt Kreisky joining us here on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Carpets by Osborne, who'd love to help you complete your job, whether residential or commercial, carpet, tile, hardwood, vinyl, rugs, and more, locally owned and operated, online at carpetsbyosborne.com.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive offers complete tax preparation, financial, and bookkeeping services.
This is Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service. We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service reminds you that it makes sense to get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We've been serving Rutherford County since 1988.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
We're just off Memorial Boulevard at 142 Heritage Park Drive.
Dr. Automotive is the cure for your car. Brothers Danny and Randy Brewer have been providing Rutherford County with ASE certified auto repair for nearly 20 years. You'll receive courteous and friendly customer service every time. Why? Because we grew up here and you are our neighbors. Foreign and domestic auto repair and maintenance on Hazelwood Drive in Smyrna, just off I-24. SmyrnaAutorepair.com, 615-220-0971. Just ask for Danny.
One Hot and Ready Classic. We actually changed it with...
What?
You've changed, Little Caesars. You've changed. You've changed. Ah! Tell me why.
It tastes even better because we added 33% more pepperoni.
Give me one of those.
Little Caesars Pizza in Murfreesboro. 4 locations: Memorial Boulevard, South Rutherford Boulevard, Old Fort Parkway, and Warrior Drive.
Walk in and walk out with the new Hot and Ready Classic with 33% more pepperoni.
Pizza.
You've seen the ads out there, companies wanting to buy your home. But why sell yourself short when you can get fair market value? I'm Lisa Patton. If you have an estate to settle or a home to sell, call Parks Auction. We'll work with you to sell your home or property in any condition with no costly repairs on your timeline. Why accept one offer when you can have multiple? You need Parks Auction. We look out for your best interest. Call Parks Auction today. We handle everything.
If you need concrete work done, who would I call? Dan France Concrete. Here's why. He's local. He attended Walter Hill Elementary, Oakland, and MTSU. He served our community as a school resource officer for 9 years, and he's involved in the community.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Dan France Concrete is a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. Check out danfranceconcrete.com online to see some of their work.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
And this portion of the show brought to you by Rick's Barbecue, serving up to the best smoked barbecue, ribs, and many local favorites right there on Warrior Drive, locally operated by Anne Marie Brents and the Lanning family. And on the phone with me this morning is head coach of the Laverne Wolverines, Mike Woodard. And Mike, you got me again, man. I think this has been like 3 weeks in a row. So
yeah, I think you're right, John.
Yeah, bear with me. Tough loss last night. I know probably a little disappointing for you, but tell us a little bit. I know Stewarts Creek, that was a game that they really virtually had to have, but they got off to a kind of a 14-0, and you just never could catch up, right?
Yeah, they jumped out on us early, and I mean on the on the defensive side for them, we just never really had an answer for their 2 big guys up front. I don't know names, but 50 and 74. I mean, they gave us fits run game wise and pass game wise, getting pressure on our quarterback. They really gave us trouble, and then. They threw in a lot more quarterback run than what we had, than what they had shown the previous, few games. Put a different kid back there at quarterback and did a lot of quarterback run that, to be honest, took us a half. It took us a half to really get adjusted and comfortable with. In the second half, we played much better, and ended up, playing even, as a matter of fact, 7-7. It was just, but the first half, they just got out quick in that first quarter, and it was just uphill after that.
When you're playing a team and Stewarts Creek's really pretty talented team. They've got some athletes, and you mentioned their front, and they wanted to run the football, which they kind of did successfully there. What kind of things did you do at halftime? Adjustments did you make at halftime? Because it seemed, like I said, it was kind of a different game in the second half.
Well, the biggest thing was we changed our front. We went from odd to even, which we had worked on. We thought that would be just a little change-up for us instead of being, our main front. But that was the biggest thing we did. We had really focused on trying to stop 8 and 24. They had been the big weapons for them in the previous games. And to be honest, I feel like we did a good job with those 2 guys. It was, but them putting 3 at quarterback and do a lot of quarterback run, they just have, they have so many weapons. And, I thought we did a really good job on the 2 main ones we had seen in film. And, the third one got us in the first half. But I am proud of our guys and the way they handled the adjustments and, went out and played really, really good defense, for 3 quarters. Just unfortunately the first quarter got us, but, we didn't lose faith. We didn't drop our heads. We kept playing, and gave us a chance in the second half.
Mike, it seems like all year long, and you had a big win last week. You've had some really big wins, But you've been in I think the thing people don't understand, you've been in every single game. I think there may be only one game that you would say you weren't going to be coming back, but you've been in every single game this year, and their focus, I think particularly defensively, has been there each and every week.
It has, and I felt bad. I was talking, some of the seniors and I were just talking on the field afterwards, and they're frustrated. Nobody likes losing, and and it's frustrating because even they we're sitting there right after a tough rivalry loss, and they're like, Coach, we're just making too many mistakes, or it's just one here or one there. And I said, and as a coach, what can you tell them? I know, guys, this is part of life. Sometimes, you can do things right 90% of the time, but sometimes just that 10 can come back to haunt you. And all I can do is, promise you I'm going to work my tail off to put you in good positions. And I know you guys are working hard to do what we're asking you to do. And, we've got another game to go next week. So, let's come out and practice again. We got a home game. It's your night. It's senior night. Let's go out and play hard and put one together Friday.
People talk about, coaches will say after a win, we're going to put this one aside and go to next week. It's the same way if you lose the game. You got to let that one go and get ready to prepare because you got a pretty tough opponent next week too.
Hey, I'm losing you, John.
Okay. I'll repeat the question. Sorry.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you.
You hear coaches say after a win, we can't worry about that game. It's over now. We've won it, and then we're going to celebrate, but then we're going to go right to the next. It's the same way after a loss too. You can't just keep thinking about what's happened in the past. You got to get ready because you've got a pretty tough opponent next week as well.
We do, and it's the 24-hour rule. I think most coaches kind of go by. When that game's over, you won. Hey, you got 24 hours to enjoy. Watch the film, mark your highlights, have fun. But after those 24 hours, let's start looking at the next team. And after a loss, it's the same way. Take 24 hours, be mad. And don't get me wrong, I want the guys to be mad. There's something wrong if after losing the game last night, there'd be something wrong if guys were okay and joking around and having fun. If that's the case, and then something's really wrong. So, I want them to be upset, but after 24 hours, it's time to move on and look at what you can get better at and get ready for the next opportunity and not let one outing snowball and affect the second one.
Antioch got a really good freshman quarterback. They're for real. They played a tough game against Smyrna, and Smyrna came out, but they're liable to be a little angry next week. But you guys are used to that. You've been through that kind of thing before, and I really look for you guys to rebound well and play them pretty tough next week.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to go out and again just show what kind of team we are. We'll focus on ourselves first, of course, getting things better there, and then we always, like on the defensive side, we'll target a couple guys we need to stop, and that Adams kid is a very good freshman quarterback. He's made some plays. They've got an offensive lineman who's getting a lot of attention from bigger schools, and we'll just challenge our guys and say, here's your opportunity. You want to get recognized. Well, have a big game against somebody that's got stars next to their name. So and you're right, our guys will show up Monday. We'll be ready to get after it and go. Do what we got to do to get one more win on the year, so that'll be our focus.
I think it may be a credit to you and your coaching staff, but it always appears with Laverne, and if I were in Vegas trying to bet on you guys, I would not want to bet against you because it seems like whether it's a win or it's a loss, you come back, you play the same, and that's a goal I think you've tried to establish in them. Let's play our game and do the things to try to win a game, and it's that stability that you're looking for, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and we try to keep the focus on us and get better at things we do. In my opinion, it's a mistake if every single week you're changing everything up to try to account for this or account for that. The kids need consistency, and they need it's tough to get better if you're constantly changing what they're doing. So we just we try to focus on what we do, and of course we tweak things from week to week based on the type of offense or the type of defense we're seeing, or where their best playmakers are. And again, I think it's a credit to our guys that they believe in that, and they take their coaching and they want to get better. And I still think our record may not be what we want it to be, but I think if you look at it in the first few games of the year compared to now, I think everybody would agree that our kids have gotten better and we've gotten better, and we will try to end the year and end everything on a high note this coming Friday.
I wanted to ask you about something about your team in terms of what has surprised you the most about this year's group, because it seems like they really are focused and together, and there's not been. It just seems like if they play their game, they're going to be in it or win the game, and the focus that you said you've had with them. What's been the biggest surprise from this group?
Well, I don't know that I would call it a surprise, because we had a good feeling about these guys early on, but like the biggest enjoyment, or I think the biggest positive out of this group is when we were struggling early in the year, there wasn't the finger pointing, there wasn't there weren't different factions in the locker room. The guys did stay together through that hard part of the year and believe in each other, believe in the coach, and believe in the process. And and now we've won 2 out of our last 3, closing out the year with 1 more game left to go. And, that hasn't always happened when we've had adversity hit before. And, in our coaches' meetings, we've made that comment multiple times through the course of the year. Hey, if this had been a different group, then it probably would have gone this way. Or if this had been, another year, probably would have happened like this. But, but we haven't had that friction. We have had more of a brotherhood than we've had maybe the last couple of years, and that's been, that's made it very enjoyable. And to be honest, that's the reason we've been able to win 2 of our last 3, is that the guys have stayed together and haven't become divisive in any way.
Mike Woodard is our guest here, and we've got another question here for you before we let you go. That game, that'll be at home this Friday, is that correct?
Yes, it'll be our senior night.
Oh, that's going to be a great time, and you don't often get the last game being senior night. That's pretty cool as well. So I know you probably don't have too many seniors, but I know it's a great night to appreciate what they've done for the program.
It is. We've got 16 of them.
Wow.
And, like
okay.
I said, yes, yeah, it's a good sized group, and a lot of guys that have played a lot of minutes, but be it this year or the last couple of years. So it should be a special night, and we're all just going to enjoy going out there and spend one more Friday together.
Well, Mike, it's always a pleasure talking to you. I hope I get to talk to you one more time before this year is over, but good luck against Antioch next week. And I kind of want to tell everybody to get a big crowd out there to see those seniors. They deserve their applause, and I know you're looking forward to a big night.
Yes, we are. Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
All right, that's Mike Woodard, the head coach of the Laverne Wolverines. They're hosting Antioch this coming Friday night. And this portion of the Coach's Show has been brought to you by First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. If you're looking for a home-time feel with your bank, turn to the First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, offering full-service banking and mortgage services. When we come back, I think it's Oakland Patriots time here on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner.
Here's a question. What do you want from your electric co-op?
Fast response if the power goes out.
An app that keeps me informed. Tips to lower my monthly bill.
Communication on things that matter to me.
Done, 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 done.
I want to know everything.
Everything? Well, young lady, let me show you the MyMTE app. Energy Service Life. That's Middle Tennessee Electric. We're here to get done what matters most to you. Learn more at mte.com.
We're talking now with Heather here at Carpets by Osborne. Tell us what it's like to work at a family business.
It's a lot of fun. However, it's a lot of work. Everybody has to pull their weight equally.
What do you think are some of the advantages of people doing business with a family business versus a corporate business?
We are here to answer all questions. We're responsible for scheduling jobs. We're not here to sell you material and pass you off to a list of installers.
Carpets by Osborne on Northwest Broad, next to Tire World.
Whether you're a student, alumni, or just a fan, Raider Tees has exactly what you need to help you cheer on the Blue Raiders on game days and every moment in between. We sell officially licensed Blue Raider gear, whether it's clothing, hats, flags, chairs, or just whatever. We have it all, including exclusive gear you won't find anywhere else. Like us on Facebook for updates on new Blue Raider gear and special prices or discounts. For all your Blue Raider gear, shop Raider Tees today. Bigger, better, and go blue!
Pizza. Murfreesboro's favorite pizza is now hiring at all 3 local locations. That's right. We want you to join the Sir Pizza team. Stop in at our East Main, Veterans Parkway, or Memorial Boulevard locations and let us know how you'd like to join the Sir Pizza family. Also, we've made it even easier to order for carryout or delivery. Just head on over to sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Prentice Allsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air, your Ring Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAllsup.com.
This is Primetime Sports, WGNS Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com. The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
And this portion of the Coaches Show brought to you by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, the largest and most comprehensive orthopedic surgery group in Middle Tennessee. Find out more at TOA.com. And Coach Kevin Creasy joins me, the head coach of the Oakland Patriots. And, Coach, you've had to use TOA quite a bit this year.
Yeah, went last week, as a matter of fact.
It's been kind of musical chairs, I guess, when it comes to guys that have been in and out of your lineup. And you've survived it up to this point. And, everybody in Rutherford County had a little bit of panic last night. You got down 12-0 against Ravenwood. I didn't panic, Coach. I knew you'd pull it out. But it just goes to show you, though, and Ravenwood, number 8 in the state, that's a pretty good opponent to play. I mean, that's what you want, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they're 7-1 for a reason, a real prideful program playing at their place. So we expected it to be a battle. And then, of course, it turned into a battle real quick, down 12-0. Extra point team did a really good job of, blocking. I mean, extra point block, ended up blocking their extra point and stopped them on a 2-point conversion. So that made it a weird score most of the night. We went back and forth going for 2 and extra points and all that stuff. So the biggest thing was, we didn't lose our heads. We, remained focused, swallowed some of the bad things that happened to us and went ahead and executed later on.
There are games, and I guess you could probably pick one every year that things just don't feel right, things don't go right. You have a turnover or a block punt, those kind of things. That's just part of life. I mean, that's part of growing up. And, you mentioned before the game, when you got 16-year-olds out there playing, you never know.
That's true. That's true. Their mindset's definitely a little different. And we saw that last night. And you talk about block punt, we had a block punt. You talk about a turnover, we had a turnover. So we put our defense in some bad spots. But, for the most part, defense held their own. I think they gave up 2 first downs in the first half, and we're down 12-0 to start the first quarter. So, I'm proud of our guys with the resilience they showed and, just showed some guts. And like I said, there wasn't no finger pointing. There wasn't no blame game going on. At the end of the day, they went out there and fought back, and I think we had like 35 unanswered.
When you sit there in a game like that, panic is one thing that kind of comes to mind. But at the same time, a game like that is something that if you can overcome it and win it, it's really beneficial. I know that's kind of a weird take, but it is beneficial when those kind of things, because they've experienced that now. They've gone through it.
Yeah, Ravenwood's one of the best teams we played this year. So being able to play a team like Ravenwood and have your back against the wall and be able to fight back and, go on the road and come out with a victory, I think, that's huge, especially for, a team like ours where we got some inexperienced guys at key positions and they get to go through those type of deals. And, you can't simulate that kind of stuff in practice. It's real good to get it in game experience. And, I'm glad that we went over there last night.
And you have to be careful not to go under the bridge on the way to Ravenwood. Yeah. You can't get the bus. The bus under there, so you got to go around.
That's what I've heard. I heard they've been stuck over there before.
We've encountered that a few times. Let's talk about some individual performances, and I want to talk about a personal favorite of mine is Craig Tutt. Interception, returned it for a touchdown. Boy, he's been a real gem out there this year, and we've mentioned his name several times. I call him King Tut, but he's done a good job for you.
Yeah, he's the youngest sophomore on our team. I mean, he actually could be a freshman.
Wow.
So it just tells you what kind of talent this guy has. Just got an offer to play at Vanderbilt. That's pretty good for a sophomore. Got an invite November 4th to UT. So things are turning in the right direction as far as his recruiting, but the only reason that's happening is because he's making plays. I mean, all these colleges are watching videos of some of our older guys, and they're noticing number one, and number one has definitely showed out this year. And, got in a little bit on offense, played a lot of defense, and then went back and returned some kicks, had a huge kickoff, actually a huge punt return. Our punt return team set up the return and had some good blocks for him, but at the same time, he had a guy within 5 yards of him, and he caught it anyway and took off and found our wall and did a good job on the punt return.
Corey Smith also defensively, 8 tackles and a sack. Of course, I call him the veteran. I mean, he's been that way since he put on an Oakland uniform.
Yeah, he's one of those that played freshman ball for us, won a freshman championship after their season. About this time of year, we move up, 10 or 12 freshmen, and he got to play as a freshman some. So, it seems like Corey's been here forever.
The 1-2 punch of Morris and Jones continue to sparkle, and boy, they poured it on after you did get behind and made up for a lot of points, I guess.
Yeah, that was good. Both of them did a really good job out there. I think I don't know what was going on in the first couple series, but there was a drop ball or two, missed block or two, but things got settled in, and they both got into their groove, and you could tell when they finally got in their groove.
I think they had about 150 yards together and 4 touchdowns, something like that. Yeah. Ashton and Dwan. Now, I talk about that. I want to talk a minute about the offensive line. They don't get much pub, and I'm gonna give them a little love here, right, because without them, you've got, it's going to make it much tougher for Morris and Jones to do their thing, and Kyler and Patrick. But that's been a mainstay of Oakland teams for years. I know you're proud of them and the job they do.
Yeah, the offensive line, they faced a good defense. Here's the thing, I think Ravenwood was just looking for anything to be able to stop, our offense, and got on a lot of different, looks and fronts and moved and stemmed and slanted, and our offensive line did a heck of a job. I mean, it was, you could tell Coach Edie, our O-line coach, has done a good job of, we don't have a man, we have a rule, and, our guys went out and executed, and no matter what they threw at us, we were able to handle it. I thought it was impressive by our offensive line.
We're talking to Kevin Creasy, the head coach of the Oakland Patriots here. Winners last night over Ravenwood, and which sets up, here we go. You knew I was going to go this direction. It sets up the Battle of the Borough. with a really talented Riverdale team and a really talented Oakland team, and on paper it looks like a humdinger coming up.
Yeah, I think so. I think you better buy your ticket early. I think you better show up early. There'd probably be a packed house on both sides. Maybe one of those games where, people are lined up on the fence like we saw, Lipscomb Academy just a few years ago. But definitely lives up to the hype. That's what rivalry games are supposed to be. TWAA went in and kind of moved some of the rivalry games to Week 10, which, nobody at the time knew who was playing for a championship. But now it seems like, for all the marbles, home field advantage in the playoffs, and definitely bragging rights. So they did a good job. They did a good job of moving it to Week 10, and like I said, we'll sell a lot of tickets.
Yeah, I can remember earlier years, it used to be the last game, and then for years it hasn't been, and now it's back. And what do you expect out of the Warriors? I don't know whether you've looked at them that much, but I know they've got some receivers, and they've got a good quarterback, and you got to be prepared, I think, for some passing game.
Yeah, Coach Kreisky did a good job of going out and hiring a really good offensive coordinator, and now that he's been there, they've seemed more comfortable in their offense. They're definitely in a groove. Got a couple good guys that came in. I think the receiver from Friendship Christian, he is phenomenal. I mean, I saw him in the state championship game. I think he scored 3 of their 4 touchdowns to help them win over at Friendship last year. And then you watch him on film, he's making plays left and right. Quarterback, Braden Graham, he's everything you want in a quarterback. He's tough. He throws the ball on time. He reads good coverages, defense. He has no problem reading the defense. Offensive line's protecting him better than they did last year. And like I said, with all their weapons, they do a heck of a job of dispersing the ball around. They've got a Williams kid that I think just committed to Michigan State. On defense, they got another kid that's committed to Michigan State. So they've got plenty of talent, but they've got a great supporting cast with them. I look around and, their defense is always tough and tough like it always is. And Armand, the kicker, wow. He has done some great things, and he's really impressive too. And, I think our kicker's really good, but it's awesome that I think in our region that there's 2 guys that could be up for Mr. Football kicker because that's just how good both of them really are.
I think we're going to be there about 5:15, and that's probably about the time you might want to try to get there to that game. I do think that's going to be a standing room only, and people around the fences. That game should be a really, really great crowd. Before I let you go, I wanted to talk a little bit about the freshman team.
Yeah.
Give them some kudos. Tell us, I know they battled Smyrna in the championship.
Yeah, I want to talk about them too. They've been doing this county championship now for, I think, 4 years, and Oakland's played in it all 4 years. We won it, the previous 3 years. And, this bunch, we were really worried about them even making the playoffs. They had a rough middle school run, and then they got up here to freshman ball, and I think the first practice, there was about 15 of them out there. So there was a lot of guys that have grown and really gotten better at football, and they just exceeded our expectations and beat Smyrna, just about a week earlier before the playoffs, and had a heck of a game, and come back, and Smyrna comes and beats us right at the last couple minutes of the game. It was back and forth. There was probably like 6 lead changes. You could tell both teams just fought their guts out. And, we came up short. I think it was 22-18, something like that. But, give our freshmen credit. They caused a fumble within, I think there was 70 seconds left in the game, and had the ball, to score to win the game somewhere around the 15-yard line, and came up short. But like I said, our freshman coaches did a heck of a job with them. I'm really proud of Eric Vito and his staff. They did a heck of a job. And like I said, couldn't be more proud of a bunch of overachievers. It's always fun to coach overachievers. A lot of times our freshmen have had more talent than everybody else and just walked into the championship game and won them by 40, 50 points. But yeah, this bunch right here, I'm just as proud of them because not a lot of talent, but definitely worked their butt off to get there and represented us real well.
They had a lot of pride. They wanted to get there, didn't they?
They did. They had a lot of pride and kept fighting the whole game. I loved how they fought until the last whistle.
You know, by the way, I didn't even mention the Ravenwood game. You won that one comfortably. The way I was interviewing you, I think they thought, well, it could be bad, but won it comfortably and had a great second half, and congratulations on that win. And, of course, if you want to see some classic football now, Friday night it's going to be Oakland. That's the place to be. And look for a big crowd and get your tickets early.
Absolutely.
And we'll have the concession stands ready for you. How about that? Best hot dogs in town. All right. That's going to be it for Coach Kevin Creasy, and we appreciate him being here this morning. This portion of the show brought to you by JHA Company, Josh Houston and Associates, jewelry, letter jackets, yearbooks, graduation products, and more. Online at jhacompany.com. And when we come back, it's Stewarts Creek football time here on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner.
Craig's Tax Service.
We perform tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brett Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
Craig's Tax Service is located just off Memorial on Heritage Park Drive. You can contact us at 890-2233.
It makes sense to get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We are proud to support all Rutherford County student athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
Franklin's Printworks has been in Murfreesboro for over 25 years. We are a full-service commercial printer, everything from business cards, brochures, booklets to banners. My name is Jeff Carlton. I handle sales and marketing for Franklin's Printworks. We hear a lot people who have been working with printers on the internet, had issues, and they know that if we're working with someone local, that A, they know where to find us, and B, they know that we'll take care of it because we have to take care of our neighbors. Our website is franklinsprinting.org.
Winners Trophies can help you with customized awards for any occasion. Owner Kelly Hockenberry continues to provide awards for sports teams, churches, recognition awards, and more. Call Winners Trophies at 904-6002. That's 904-6002 for the best in quality, service, and pricing. You can also email Kelly, winnerstrophy@comcast.net. That's winnerstrophy@comcast.net. Any award for any occasion. Winners Trophies, 904-6002.
We're at Rick's Barbecue talking with Anne-Marie Brentz, who says they're ready to feed your entire crew with the family pack.
It's a pound of pork or any of our pulled meats, and then you get two 16-ounce sides, and then you get a bag of chips, which are plain or barbecue, and then the buns come with it, and then you get one of our drink choices, which is either a 2-liter of one of our sodas or a half-gallon of one of our teas.
And don't forget the famous Rick's Loaded Baked Potato.
That's the biggest potato you can get. They're right at 2 pounds.
Let Rick's Barbecue do the cooking, 212 Warrior Drive.
Renters, when you combine State Farm Auto and Renters Insurance, you will save money. I'm State Farm Agent Dana Womack, and I'd love to talk to you about combining your auto and Renters Insurance to help you save. Call me at 615-900-0877.
It's not just your home or car. I'm State Farm Agent Emerson Williams. We see your home and car as the time and memories that you put into it. Give me a call at 615-459-2683 and let me help you give them the protection they deserve.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
This portion of the show brought to you by the law offices of John Day, providing superior legal representation to injury victims and their family. You can find out more at johndaylegal.com. John Ding is back with you, and we're going to close out with, I think, Danny Brewer today. And we've got Coach Ben Caudell, the head coach of the Stewarts Creek Redhawks. And I didn't get the chance to talk to you last week, but I know a disappointing loss to Smyrna, but you bounced back against a very good Laverne team this week.
Without question, John. You know, I tell you what, talking about Laverne first, you know, just you know, they're coming off of 2 wins in a row. One was on the road. The most recent one was on the road against a 6-1 Green Hill team, and my thoughts on that are the overtime win they had, the score was deceiving. I thought Laverne, physically dominated them and went on the road and really took it to a 6-1 team. And so we knew, that we were going to get a really good game from them. Rock Springs Middle is pretty much split between, Stewarts Creek High and Laverne High. So a lot of our kids know those kids. They've totally changed their offense. Laverne has totally changed their offense after their Cane Ridge game. I tell you, just preparing for our game against Smyrna, I really liked what Laverne was doing on offense previous to, the schematic change. But, I have a lot of respect for Coach Woodward and Coach Oliver over there and the job that they've done, putting their team in a position to, extend their season here late. And so they've done a phenomenal job of getting their team, in this position. And also, John, I'm so proud of our team. I don't think the casual fan, truly understands, what, goes into a game like last night. They're not in the locker room after, a brutal loss and see the emotion in players' eyes. They're not, in the training room with our kids that are in there before and after practice every day this time of year. So to regroup after last Friday night and go on the road against a very impressive, physical, emotional team in Laverne High School, to me that says a lot about our players, says a lot about our leadership in our locker room. It says a lot about our coaches and regrouping and, getting things going this week. Just so proud of our team and the maturity they showed this past 7 days.
Yeah, you guys could have rolled over and played dead. This was a must game. You needed this win. And after the disappointing game the week before, for them to bounce back like that and how they did it, the fashion they did it. I know you all got off to an early lead, but defensively, you all must have been solid last night.
Yeah, I was really proud of our defensive performance. Like I said, a totally different offense that we hadn't seen all year. Laverne's quarterback's a great athlete, and there were several times we kind of had him, hemmed up and he got out. Their one scoring drive, John, was 3rd and 18, and we thought they caught a pass with 2 feet out of bounds, and so kind of gave them one there in the third quarter. Offensively, we had 2 drives that to end the game we didn't. Ball was inside the 5-yard line. We didn't try and punch it in. And then we had another drive right before half. Nigel caught a pass that was down, I think, on the 2-yard line. And then another series we had in the red zone where we had a holding penalty and just didn't punch it in. And so, Laverne was trying to hold the ball and burn the clock and limit our possessions. And I thought they did a really good job of executing their game plan. And unfortunately, we, could have put the game away a little earlier. Like I said, 3 drives inside the red zone that didn't result in any points. But, credit to them, but also, credit to our guys. And, this time of year, John, Laverne had as much to play for as we did last night. This is essentially playoff football when the weather gets cold and the yards are tough. So I'm proud of, our ability to, score a few more points than Laverne last night.
Well, Otay had 72 yards, total yards, a TD, and Jerry Taylor had 12 carries for 96 yards and 2 touchdowns. Again, I go back to the offensive line, creating that, helping those guys get open, and when you look at the 2 drives, that were negated, and you really did keep Laverne from doing what they wanted to do. I mean, you did have your long drives of your own.
Yeah, one thing to me, John, that's big is we had 4 or 5 different ball carriers last night. Caleb Floyd, had some great runs last night. Javari and Kenny, obviously with their touches as well, and Jerry, really coming on for us, and provided a spark for us, at times, and also a huge pass from Jacob Jones, there with a little bit of pressure in his face. The touchdown pass to Javarian, and so was proud of our balance last night and proud of our ability to, get multiple different ball carriers the ball.
We're talking to Ben Caudill, the head coach of the Stewarts Creek Red Hawks, winners 21-7 over Laverne last night. And Ben, when you when you talk about those running backs, boy, this time of year having fresh legs like that, having 3 or 4 guys that can carry it. Floyd had a great game last night. We didn't even mention him, except you did. I didn't even mention him, but he had a really good game too.
Yeah, well, we've got some experience up front. Our offensive line coach, Al Haston, played at Tennessee, been a head coach. I can't say enough about, what he does for our program. So proud of the job he's done, year after year for us. We got some guys that can tote the rock, but you got to have, some experience up front, especially, when the weather gets cold, and every yard is tough to get. I thought we did a good job up front last night.
Being in a game like that, I know coming off a loss, was it hard for the guys to – I think they were ready to play last night, weren't they? I mean, they saw the challenge ahead, and I think you got that message across to them. This is playoff football now. I mean, every game matters, and it's been a topsy-turvy kind of year. You've had some really good runs, like 3 or 4 wins, and then had a little lull and then come back, and then last week's game. So that had to be a satisfying win last night.
It was. Just like my 2 boys, I love them both equally.
Yeah.
There's no win that, that you don't love. But there's always a balance to what you said of after a hard week of, knowing when you got to put your arm around a kid and knowing when you got a challenge and get physical in practice. And, had a meeting with our seniors this week, just me and them. Also had a meeting with our sophomores, now that the JV season's over and, this is time to serve your team and lock in. And so, all those things, are a balance this time of year, when, the season gets long and it's starting to get cold and, all those things. Once again, proud of our, mental capacity this week to move on and get the job done on the road last night. And I tell you, John, it felt like a home game for us. Our stands were packed. Second week in a row, our fans were just, lined down the gate, band in full force. The Stewarts Creek High School band travels in 4 buses. They got a big Penske truck, and at some point I need to meet with them this offseason, just talk logistics and, those types of things. Pre-game meal, they got it all spread out, and, just proud of, all the factors that go into, helping us get the job done on the field last night.
Well, they love their football, don't they?
do.
They really do. Let's talk about next week, a game. It's against McGavick, and a game that on paper you probably have an advantage, but you can't. You want to make sure they're prepared and ready to go next week.
Yeah, I everybody just walking in here, I think 4 people asked me, so the seating on this, I know that we got a job to do this week. I'm not worried about if this happens or if this team can, upset whoever. We got a job that we've got to do. And the most important thing this next week is, it's senior night. These seniors, when I became our head coach, I remember meeting with them in our gym, after COVID, there in early June. I remember, our freshman coaches pulling me aside, and I remember the first time I was told Nigel Maynard's going to be a stud for you. I remember the first time I looked B.J. Peter in the eye, when he walked in, wide-eyed and bushy-tailed as a freshman. These are my guys. I love them dearly, and I don't even, want to think about, what it's going to be like, without them, walking our halls and in our locker room and those types of things. I love these guys, and to me the motivation is I want to be around these guys as long as I can, and I'm not preaching, hey, this result or that result. It's, hey, let's do what we have to do to enjoy the blessing of being together as long as we can. And so all eyes and attention on our seniors this week. So blessed to be their leader, and we're playing a really good McGavick team, tremendous running back. They have given fits to every team in our region. Close game last night against Cane Ridge, and so from an on-the-field standpoint, there's a lot that we've got to be really, really laser focused on this week as well.
Senior night at Stewarts Creek this Friday night, and What time does that start? Is that at 6:30 or
about 6:20?
6:20. So if you want to see it and give these seniors deserved, we're talking about cheerleaders too, and we're talking about band people, so managers, all that. Come out early at Stewarts Creek and let's support those guys, right?
Hey, absolutely.
All right, that's good luck next week.
Hey, I appreciate it, John, and man, once again, appreciate all you guys are doing for all of us, in the county, and always good to be with you guys on Saturday morning.
All right, go have yourself a donut if they've saved you any. That's for sure. That's Ben Caudill, the head coach of the Stewarts Creek Redhawks. This portion of the show brought to you by Lascassas Feed Supply, locally owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young. They're good people. They specialize in animal feeds, premium pet foods, farm supplies, and more. And when continue, we will have Brian Guthrie, the head coach of the Rockvale Rockets, here on the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner.
First National Bank of Middle Tennessee is dedicated to our community. Hi, I'm John Dietrich, Senior Vice President and Commercial Banker at our 1708 Gateway Boulevard location in Murfreesboro. Let me help you purchase, finance, or build with local people and local decisions. As a lifelong Murfreesboro resident, I'm committed to our town and your financial needs. Look us up at fnbmt.com. First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC, NMLS number 401715.
Dr. Russell McKissick of Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance talks about the grassroots effort in our local schools to ensure proper care for players.
To make sure our teams are covered here locally, be there for our trainers. Yeah, it's a passion that we have to try to take care of our athletes here in town and be there just to keep everybody playing as healthy and as best they can.
From a community standpoint, one of the most important things you do at TOA, I'd guess.
I think it's definitely a way to pay back to our community, just to be there for them and watch some great sports too.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, live your best life.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
And this portion of the Coach's Show brought to you by Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin, who will work with you to develop a complete, tailored strategy to help you achieve your financial goals. That's Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin. And joining me here is Brian Guthrie, the head coach of the Rockvale Rockets. A game at home, probably one of the greatest games. We were sitting there going, gosh, if we could cover 2 games, we'd have been there. And it was quite a gym and close all the way. And I'm going to let you explain to me the ending, okay? All right.
Well, first of all, it was a great night for high school football. We have a great atmosphere at Rockvale. I was super excited, and we had youth night. We had youth league night, so we had all our we recognized all our youth league kids and the youth league cheerleaders, and so they were all there. And our student section has just become phenomenal. Miss Wright, one of our assistant principals, has done a really good job of getting those guys going in the right direction, and they correlate with our band. Our band plays. They play music, they got speakers, and it's just an unbelievable atmosphere at Rockvale High School, and I'm proud to be a part of it. The game was a slobber knocker now. It was a battle of attrition. So
kind of a back and forth thing.
It was all night long, and it was a very, very physical game, very emotional game. Our kids and their kids, they know each other very, very well. And so there was a lot of pride riding on that game. And
again, another rivalry game.
Yeah,
Rockville has more rivalries.
I know, and I don't understand. We're only 5 years old.
Well, they had a lead. You had a lead, and it got to finally you tied it up at 15, and
right.
then we're going. Let's talk about the Blackman score, and then the rest, because it's really unbelievable, and you can only describe it, because I'm telling you, I don't think I could do it justice.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I can either. It was all kind of a blur. You know, I was trying to keep my heart keep pumping the whole time.
But they go up.
They went up. They went up and made it 22-15. We scored with, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes to go, and we went for 2 to go up by 1 because we felt like our defense was playing just lights out, and so with that short of time left, we felt like we'd go for 2 and go up, and our defense could get a stop. Well, we didn't get it, so we were down by 1.
And this is with just a few minutes left here.
Yes,
we're talking
it's just with a couple minutes left. So we're down by 1, so we have to onside kick it. We onside kicked it, and it's a screamer, and it goes, through their 2 front lines, and Caleb Embry is one of our outside linebackers, and he's probably the star of the game because he ran down the sideline and was like a shortstop and caught it, but right before it went out of bounds and got the onside kick, and then we went down and scored, and that the rest is history.
You made this sound so simple, but now doing the onside kicking itself is kind of an art form.
And we were on a backup kicker. Our first kicker had to go back to Oregon this weekend with his family to take care of some family business that he couldn't get out of, and so Preston Fuller was doing our kicking last night, and he did a really good job and came through for us.
Do you feel sometimes the stars are aligned? I mean, that's a game.
Sometimes.
When you sit there as a coach and you've lost a game that you think you should have won or you should have won, this is the payback, I think, sometimes, isn't it? I mean,
it is.
Yeah.
I mean, we lost 2 at the beginning of the season that, we probably should have won or felt like we should have won, and this kind of helps ease that pain a little bit.
And this one helped a lot because we had region repercussions with it, right?
Yes, sir.
And so we'll talk about Odell had 91 yards, and you've been searching for that. You've been looking for that and that kind of performance. And if you can get 91 yards out of him, the rest of your offense is going to click a little bit better with him. And they were doing that.
And they were 91 tough yards. Now, I mean, their defense played really well. They ran to the ball really, really well, and they were 91 tough yards. And he's one of the toughest kids around. He's not bigger than a minute, but he is one of the toughest kids on our football team, and I was proud of him.
And Mayhew was 12 of 26, 168 yards, but 2 fourth-quarter touchdown passes, which led to the victory. And you really don't – if he was 0 for 12 – to be able to do that, perform at clutch time, that was pretty big from him.
Yes, I was really proud of Brendan. He didn't have a great night for 3 quarters. I think he threw 3 interceptions. One of them was a pick 6. He didn't have a great. But at the end of the game, when we needed him, he buckled up his bootstraps and put us on his back and led us to that final score, those final couple scores.
And I don't want people to Blackman has really improved. I mean, they have really made great strides, and you knew that game was going to be tough going in, didn't you? Yeah,
100%.
So that sets up a battle with Rockvale. With Siegel, and that game's at home also, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you would like to win that game. That would take care of a lot of things. Okay, I know there's scenarios out there, and I don't know. I'm not expecting you to explain the scenarios, but you know what you have to do, right?
Yes, sir. I think we're in. I called the guru Tom Krager last night, and I think we're in regardless. But we need to beat Siegel to guarantee that 3rd spot, so that that we've got a better draw coming out of the other region. We've got a better opponent. So we've got to take care of business. And then after that, I don't know how it shakes out for whatever else. I think if we were to lose, we're in 4th. If we win, we're in 3rd. So
You know, Brian, you sit there 3 weeks ago, 3 to 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And you're fixing to go to Coffee County. Things weren't good in Rockvale land when it comes to the football team. I know you've got to be proud that they pulled off, 3 wins in a row and really kind of looks like they've kind of put it together a little bit.
I can't tell you how proud I am of our kids. You know, I don't do anything but get them on the bus and schedule the referees. Our coaches and our kids have just done a tremendous job of coming together and figuring out ways to be successful, and I'm just so proud of them. And those guys, you know, those kids, as an emotional game it was last night, you know, being down at half, I mean, they just, you know, they buckled down and just fought their tails off, and I'm just so proud of our kids and our coaches.
And one thing to me that has been stabilizing influence, and I'm you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I've seen several games, and that defense of yours, it's always been there. I mean, it really seems to have always been there. Even and when you think of Rockvale, we think of high potent offense kind of thing, but really, it's the defense that's been the calling card. Really,
our defense has carried us all year, and Coach Delk just does a great job. He's very passionate about football, and he studies it, and he does a great job with our kids, and they really respond to him. Coach Nelson, our D-line coach, does a tremendous job. I mean, we going into the season, you know, we thought we were going to be, because we graduated 2 really good defensive linemen, and so we thought we were going to struggle, and he's just done a great job of getting those guys to where they're pretty dominant. I mean, we're pretty good up front. I think our front 7 is really, really, really good on defense, and so and we're just flying to the ball and making hits.
You've got some youngsters in that line too. I mean, you've got a couple.
We got a sophomore.
Yeah.
We got a sophomore, but that's it. And because we ended up moving Cam Frierson to linebacker. He was a D lineman, and we ended up moving him to linebacker. And golly, he made some unbelievable plays last night. That guy's just he's a machine. And him and Evangelos Brooks are just they're headhunters, and love those guys. I looked at I turned to one. Cam made a big hit last night on a kid on a screen, and I turned around to one of our coaches. I said, "Dang man, I'm glad he's on our team."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but yeah, we're going to graduate. I think we're going to graduate all but one up front. So we'll be in the same situation next year, I guess.
Yeah. And really, people don't understand offensive line, defensive line. The bad news is when you go young, it may be a struggle a little bit early, but they mature pretty fast. I mean, they get to playing together, and things happen in a good way. If you've got some ability there, it'll come.
It will, and they have to, you know, because they get exposed really quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's trial by fire, and they have to, you know, learn how to be. They have to learn how to play well quickly, and so, you know, we're gonna graduate 2 offensive linemen, 2 or 3. So we've got some spots to fill there too, but you know, we're not worried about that right now. Right now, we got to worry about beating Siegel and you know, trying to win a playoff game.
Going to be a great crowd at Rockvale this Friday night, and for an appreciation on a good year. And even though it's not the last game, you're going to move on and play, but it's still something special about that last game, particularly the last home game regular season.
It is. It'll be senior night, and you know, I'm gonna really miss the senior group when they move on, and there's some really special kids in there, and it's a special group, and so it'll be an emotional night, but you know, when it comes down to it, we got to play football, and we got to do what we got to do to win.
You know, Coach, I think I've only seen about 3 gray hairs over this season. You know, it's been one of those years, hasn't it?
You hadn't been looking.
It's been one of those years.
Yes, sir.
I'll tell you, the roller coaster ride, but hey, things turned out okay, and got more games to play. That's Brian Guthrie, the head coach of the Rockvale Rockets. Always a pleasure talking to him. And this portion of the show has been brought to you by Somebody different. There we go. Prentice Allsup Heating and Air. Family owned and operated since 1977. Get the best service with Prentice Allsup Heating and Air online at PrenticeAllsup.com. When we come back, I believe Danny Brewer's taking over, and he'll be talking to Siegel here as we continue with the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner.
This is a paid legal ad.
Hi, this is John Day of the Law Offices of John Day. I've lived and worked as a lawyer in Middle Tennessee for over 30 years, and to me, every single day has been an honor. That's why our firm is so involved with community programs like bicycle helmet giveaways and our Safe Ride Home program. At the Law Offices of John Day, we're not just looking to make donations. We want to make a difference in the community we hold so dear. And if you're ever injured, know that we are here for you too.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We would like to welcome you to our door.
I'm Ian Young. I'm at Las Casas Feed Supply. I'm selling beef and pork, 100% Angus, raised here in Las Casas. Come get you some.
Everyone's favorite cuts available, even options to purchase a quarter of a steer.
We got the beef. Hello, everybody. Las Casas Feed Supply.
Family owned and operated Las Casas Feed Supply on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East.
Your 401k is likely one of your most important assets, but it's only one part of a comprehensive retirement strategy. Edward Jones can help you understand how your retirement assets fit into your entire retirement picture so that you can work toward meeting your unique retirement goals. Contact me, Lee Colvin, your Edward Jones financial advisor in the Public Shopping Center on South Rutherford Boulevard, or give us a call at 615-907-7056. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
Coach's Show is brought to you by J. Mullins Jewelry, a family-owned and operated business treating clients like family since 1938. Jewelry design, repair, and a wide selection of great jewelry pieces. Online at mullinsjewelry.com. I'm Danny Brewer. I am extremely pleased now to be joined by Siegel head football coach Adam Renshaw.
We're great to be above ground.
Yeah, well, Coach, we have to think about positives because, in reality, your glass is half full. You're coaching football at a very quality institution in one of the greatest football counties in Tennessee, and I think in the whole southeastern United States. So talk a little bit about Siegel Nation and your time, because this is your third year as head coach, and the rallying of the community around you and all that kind of stuff. Talk a little bit about that.
Number one, Siegel High School is an amazing place to be. We, the support of our administration and staff there this year, and really all the years I've been there, has been incomparable. And so, it's a great place to be. Last night we celebrated our seniors. And these kids have been with me the whole time I've been there. And so a bit emotional last night, seeing them go through senior night. And, again, I'm so proud of the improvements those kids have made in their lives, not just athletically, but, they've grown into young men in front of me. And so, a bit emotional last night.
I'm sure. And, that's got to be rewarding for you because this is your first class. These are kids that they were freshmen, and they have come all the way through your program.
Oh, 100%. There's a lot of ups and downs with that, and we talk about that. And, of course, last night we didn't play very well and would like to have done some things better. But at the same time, our kids are fighting really hard. We've had great practices, and we're having some people get shuffled around and having to play different positions and do different things. And, they've done it without a hitch. They've been yes, sir, and go to work.
I know last night you ran into a buzzsaw. Riverdale, you lost 49-7. Riverdale is really one of the best teams in the state, and they're playing extremely well right now. But talk about the growth of your young players and what you saw last night from some of your younger players who have been interjected into these battles.
Oh yeah, no doubt. We've got a junior, Kevin Inslee, that. He may have played every snap last night. I was watching the film. He's catching balls on offense. He's coming off the edge on defense. He's returning kicks. And, and doing it all at a high level. And so really amazing kid, amazing family. And, again, he's selling out for his football program.
Talk a little bit about, I know a couple weeks back, you lost the leader, Thomas Santel, one of the top quarterbacks in the Mid-State, to injury. So talk about how the team has been able to rally. I know things haven't gone the way you want to on the scoreboard, but talk about how they've been able to rally as a group.
Yeah, well, we've got a senior that stepped in. He's been working hard behind the scenes, AJ Kuchera, and he stepped in. He's a little different type of quarterback, but he's got a strong arm. It changes the dynamic of our offense a bit. We have to do things a little differently. But I think the team's rallied around him, tried to help AJ. And, AJ's done a lot of good things. He's got a strong arm. He can throw it around, and we just got to adapt to his strengths.
I did see him a little bit in the Oakland game, and you're right. He does have a very good arm, and it looks like he's good mechanically as a quarterback.
Yeah, well, he's been working with Coach Robbins, who helps us and spends some time. Coach Alec Robbins, longtime coach at MTSU, and he comes out and he does a lot of quarterback individual with our guys. And so we've, you've always got to invest in your backup quarterback. At some point, the backup quarterback goes in during the season and has to take some important quality snaps for us. And that's been true for us this year. And so that time, I'm glad we spent it and put it in AJ. Plus, AJ's one of those kids I was talking about earlier. He's grown up so much in our program. I can remember him coming in. I mean, he was playing soccer, and he talked to me about playing football, and he'd never done anything with football before. And he said, I think I'd like to play quarterback, and we gave him a shot. And, he's worked really hard for this opportunity.
Let's talk a little bit about Coach Robbins. I'm glad you brought him up. I've been obviously in this area my entire life, so I've known Coach Robbins. I've seen him on the sidelines at MTSU. I've seen him helping different high school programs over the last 10, 15, 20 years. So talk about him, and how did you lure a guy like Alex Robbins in to help you out?
Well, I think the thing is Coach Robbins was looking for some time to invest in some people, and of course, the biggest thing Coach Robbins contributes to us is just the wisdom of all those years. And, sometimes in the coaching office, things get kind of quiet, and Coach Robbins will end the conversation with an inspiration from the past, if you will. And so it's just, and he's a comfort to me. I mean, Coach Robbins, he knows more football than I'll ever hope to know. And, but even more than that, he knows people, and he's an institution in the community. So, yeah, he's been a huge blessing to our football program.
I think that you're absolutely right, because he's been there, done that, and bought the T-shirt too.
Amen. And he's, and the cool thing about what he knows is these are simple things. Sometimes we try to turn football into calculus, and it's not that. It's a simple game, and it's played by players, and you need athleticism and heart and toughness. And, he reminds us of those simple things.
Because I think that that's absolutely one of the points that I make sometimes to people when I'm sitting on the sidelines watching games is it really is a basic, the blocking, tackling, holding on to the football. It's pretty basic in reality, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, sometimes, the simple answer is always the best answer. The simpler way you can do something, whether it's offensively attack a piece of grass or defensively try to take something away, the simple answer is always the best answer. And so, the more athletic you are, the simpler the answers get to be.
Absolutely, Coach. No, 100% on that too. Now, let's talk about the week to come. Things haven't gone your way the last several weeks. Started out hot. You've had to deal with injuries, different hurdles that you've had to get over. But I think that you still have a chance this last week if you can come out with a win to still make the playoffs. Am I correct about that?
Yes, sir. We got, it's a big game against Rockvale. And, I think Rockvale is going to win that game for playoff standings. We need to win to try and get in. And, it should be a big game over there next Friday night.
So is that one of the things that's attractive about being in this county? I mean, I know it's tough. I know that the competition is high, but also that you're a competitor. You have to be a competitor to be a high school football coach. Is that one of those things that kind of fuels your fire? Is games like this?
Oh, 100%. You know, I mean, I and my entire coaching staff made the decision to be in this league, coaching this league. We want to be at Siegel High School. We want to play at games like this, and I think our kids can rally this week. We're starting to get a few kids back, get a little bit healthy, and so it's one game for all the marbles, as you'd say.
The proximity of the schools. I mean, we've got, if you think about all of Rutherford County, you've got all these big schools within probably a 10 or 15 mile radius. Does that also add a little bit more to the Rutherford County deal?
Well, yeah, but I think particularly Rockvale, because a lot of their coaches used to be Siegel grads and Siegel coaches and things of that nature, and so and I think we have a lot of respect for their staff. I hope they do ours, but there's kind of a very friendly rivalry. They're a newer school. We're a newer school. And so, I think there's a lot there between Siegel and Rockvale.
Coach Adam Renshaw, we certainly appreciate your time. It's going to be a huge game. It's at Rockvale, is that right?
Yes, sir.
So a huge game at Rockvale next Friday night. Lots of marbles on the line. Coach Adam Renshaw, the Coaching Show is brought to you by Ideas Tees, who will be happy to help you fulfill all of your imprinted apparel, embroidery, and advertising specialty needs. Find out more at ideastees.com.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Prentice Alsop Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Prentice Alsop Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
When Rutherford Countyans think of insurance professionals, they think Rayburn Insurance Agency at 200 South Lowry in Smyrna, meeting the needs of thousands of customers since 1973. You can trust Rayburn Insurance with all your needs, a place where customer service really matters. It's personal with Rayburn Insurance, as fans of local sports, as friends, and as insurance professionals. Check them out at rayburn.net or call 615-459-4145. Rayburn Insurance, for business, auto, home, and life insurance.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom designed jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northville Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
Craig's Tax Service.
We perform tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
We fulfill all your tax preparation needs from individual returns to corporations and handle any of those scary letters you may get from the IRS.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
Dr. Automotive is the cure for your car. Brothers Danny and Randy Brewer have been providing Rutherford County with ASE certified auto repair for nearly 20 years. You'll receive courteous and friendly customer service every time. Why? Because we grew up here, and you are our neighbors. Foreign and domestic auto repair and maintenance on Hazelwood Drive in Smyrna, just off I-24. SmyrnaAutorepair.com, 615-220-0971. Just ask for Danny.
This Fanceroni pepperoni is fancy.
Am I fancy enough for the Fanceroni? I'm wearing cargo shorts.
But Tim, so am I.
Try the Fanceroni pepperoni with over 100 old-world pepperoni. Little Caesars changed the Hot and Ready Classic and added 33% more pepperoni, which makes it 133% better pizza than before. It's really good. Order a new classic online and use our convenient Pizza Portal pickup.
In Murfreesboro on Memorial, Warrior Drive, South Church, and Old Fort.
Pizza, pizza.
Parks Auction. We handle everything.
You have a staff that comes to your home. They tell you what to do. They walk you through it. It's been my experience that what I thought I should get for my home, I got much more for it.
Visit our website at parksauction.com.
Parks Auction, 896-4600. Stan Vaught and the Parks Auction team are proud supporters of local high school and MTSU sports.
The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Edward Jones financial advisor Lee Colvin, who will work with you to develop a complete tailored strategy to help you achieve your financial goals. That's Edward Jones financial advisor Lee Colvin. I'm Danny Brewer. I am very pleased to be joined now by Eagleville head football coach Floyd Walker. Coach, how are you?
Man, I'm good, man. Anytime you get a win and you get to see the kids celebrate together, it's a good morning. So we're thankful for what we were able to accomplish last night. So we're excited about it, and we're going to enjoy it this weekend.
Well, Coach, I want to talk a little bit about last night's game. I think it was another shutout. Now, and I said another, that's the key. You guys have done a very good job this year as far as being able to put up some zeros on the board.
We have. I think defensively our kids have really rallied to the football, and they've lived by the mentality of at least make people snap it one more time. And if you can do those things, it takes a lot to put drives and balls in the end zone offensively. And if you can not give up a home run or a big play, it creates opportunities for you to have these shutouts. And I think our kids have done a good job of doing that.
Well, Coach, when you talk about pitching a shutout, it's a team effort, right?
It is, because there's a lot of things that have got to go into it. There's things up front where people, offensive linemen, linebackers trying to stop the run. There's people on the back end in the secondary when people are trying to throw the ball, especially if they're going forward on fourth and long. And so it's a collective effort by the group, and it's an encouragement deal that everybody's got to have for one another too. And our kids, again, I couldn't ask for a better group of kids that enjoy being around each other, they enjoy being in the locker room together, and enjoy working together.
So when we think about shutout, of course, so I know that you were up pretty good.
Right.
You play some other kids. It's a lot of it's about pride too. When you get down to that fourth quarter and, you kind of got the game salted away, then it's all about pride, isn't it?
It is. But it was, it's kind of a weird deal. You get up by X amount of points but it seemed like it's a lot closer than it actually was. I mean, Richland does a good job of moving the football down the field. They just weren't able to complete drives, and that's a lot. A lot of that's contributed to the way our kids rallied around on fourth down. So, but it takes a lot. But it's one of those deals where kids buy into it for one another, and they don't want to let their buddies down. So that's what it's kind of all about.
So let's talk a little bit about some of these kids. It was a 33-0 win over Richland. So let's talk a little bit about them. How about Cruz Giles? I think he had a block punt for a touchdown.
I tell you what, a kid named Carson Knowles blocked a punt. It was Carson's birthday, so that was a great birthday present for him. And it was a scoop and score for Cruz. And it was one of those deals where, where Cruz learned a valuable lesson because he had a mistake on the play before. And then this happened. So it's one of those deals to where he learned that, hey, I can't hold on to something because something good is right around the corner. So we were happy for that. And it was a tremendous job by both him and by Carson Knowles.
So when we think about a special teams score like that, because sometimes kids are like, well, I'm on the punt return team, or I'm on the punt block, or I'm on this or whatever. They're not maybe playing as much on offense or defense.
Right.
But doesn't that kind of put another feather in the cap for those kids that, hey, every aspect of this game is important?
Oh, it does. It does. It makes kids buy into it because you don't have to be on offense or you don't have to be on defense to contribute. And it may be a deal to where a punt gets blocked and you may scoop and score. But the thing is, you have to be involved in it. And Cruz was mentally involved in it last night. He didn't panic when he saw the ball on the ground. You seen kids just flop on it. He kept his head down, kept his eyes down, stayed composed, picked it up, and once he picked it up, Cruz runs exceptionally well for a 1A player. So We felt like it was a big momentum swing. We felt like the moment he had it in his hand that he had an opportunity to take it to the house. I mean, I think we were up at 7-0 at the time, and then I think we had an offensive drive that kind of stalled because of mistakes on us offensively. We punted, we held them, and it helped. I think it helped turn the tide of the ball game.
So that's one of those things where you mentioned about keeping your composure, because oftentimes when you're in that situation, it's easy to kind of get rattled and kind of freak out almost and not pick the ball up or fumble it around or whatever, but the kid did execute it perfectly.
It is, because you don't know who's around you. You don't know who else is about to jump on the football. And it's one of those deals to where it has to be, it takes a lot of nerve. It takes a lot of calmness. And I thought he did a tremendous job, because you will see some kids, it's one of those deals to where it's full-blown anxiety. I got to get this ball. And next thing you know, the ball is, is either been kicked off of their foot or somebody's come out of someplace else and gotten it from him. So I was pleased for him, and it was a joy for him to see. It was a joy for me to watch him go from being kind of down because he made a mistake to being elated because of just what happened on the next play. So that's the ebbs and flows of the football game, and that's the ebbs and flows of life. So that's another teachable moment for him.
Amen on that. The roller coaster of high school football, right, Coach?
Got it.
Brody McLemore, one of your signal callers, 6 for 7 passing with 3 touchdowns. How about those stats?
I tell you, Brody came in to replace Will, who we've lost for the year due to a broke arm. And, the thing about it was we weren't going to change what we were doing offensively, and people forget that Brody was a starting quarterback at the beginning of the year. So we felt extremely comfortable with Brody calling plays last night, and I thought he did a super job delivering the ball where it needed to go. I thought he did a super job of handling the offense, handling the huddle. You can't say enough about that kid. He's a winner, and he's been a winner his whole life at Eagleville, whether it's been baseball, football, wrestling. So we believe in that kid, and we're thankful that we had.
Sound like he's an outstanding competitor.
And he's a good kid. He's a great kid too, and that's the most important thing about it. I mean, you can't put a price tag on a kid's character, and I'm looking forward to the things that lie ahead of him, not athletically, but just as a man.
Outstanding, and that's what you're doing is growing kids. Caleb Snitzer, I think 6 carries, 128 yards and a touchdown. How about I do the math on that as far as yards per carry? What about 20 yards a carry?
I thought Caleb did a tremendous job of being patient. I thought he did a super job with his feet, not athletically, not trying to force it, but he kind of took what they gave him. He made a couple of people miss, broke a couple of tackles. I thought he finished runs, and I'm happy for him because he was another kid that he started the season at running back for us, and we started making some changes offensively with quarterback and moving Brody to running back, and it kind of left Caleb as an odd man out, but he stayed the course, and it's paid off.
Coach, I think that if we look through the history books, you were a pretty doggone good running back yourself back in the day, right?
I made a good water boy. I made a good water boy.
But your experience as a running back and doing the things that you did, good to see a kid like this. You talk about patience, you talk about finding your holes, you talk about all these things, but that's the key to making these plays happen, right?
It is. The key to it is knowing that everything can't be a home run. There's going to be tough yardage. There's going to be 1-yard runs, 2-yard runs. There's going to be minus 5-yard runs. It's going to happen. That's just the nature of the beast because the defensive teams, they practice too. And they scheme up what you do offensively, but just to stay the course and understand, hey, just be patient, just stay relaxed, don't get frustrated. Everything goes back to being a life lesson, and that's what life is. Things are going to happen. You just have to be patient. You got to stay the course.
In today's society, is teaching that patience a little bit tougher? I mean, because everybody wants anything right now.
Well, I call them the microwave society. They want what I want, when I want it, and how I want it. I mean, it's one of those deals. And it's unfortunate that life really doesn't work that way. I think communication and social media and all those things created because everybody has a voice to say or complain about when they don't get things, and the art of working for what you want and earning what you want. it's still there. It's still there. There's still good people out there who want to work hard, who want to earn what they get. And I think we got a locker room full of kids that want to do that.
Talk about working and earning. What you got this week, Coach? Talk to me about the final week of the regular season. What I mean, Eagleville.
We have Cornersville on a Thursday night at our place, and ought to be a huge night for our seniors. It ought to be a huge night for the seniors' parents. It ought to be a huge night for the entire community. After the ball game, we don't know exactly whether or not it's a playoff, do or die deal for us. We'll find out and look down at all that stuff this weekend. But we'll worry about that with our kids on Monday when they roll in for school and for practice. But like I told them last night, hey, look, y'all go enjoy this. Just go enjoy it because you need to enjoy winning. It's too hard to get a win, and they're one of those deals to where that I celebrated enough or appreciated enough. So I hope they're enjoying it, and I hope they look forward to get back to work on Monday.
Well, if you want to see some good football, you go out to Eagle next Thursday night. It's going to be a great environment. Coach Floyd Walker, we appreciate your time. We certainly wish you the best of luck. And get out there and support those Eagles because they're flying high. The Coaches Show is brought to you by Prentice Allsup Heating and Air. Family owned and operated since 1977. Get the best service with Prentice Allsup Heating and Air online at PrenticeAllsup.com. Thank you, Coach.
You've heard people say, you know your work by your name, but there's no better name for residential and business concrete work than Dan France Concrete. From basic slabs to decorative stamping, for your next concrete project, call Dan France Concrete, 615-642-5152.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Trust me, Dan is committed to the community and will offer you a great product. He'll stand behind his work and make sure you're satisfied with every aspect of the work. Dan France Concrete.
Here's a question. What do you want from your electric co-op?
I want expert advice on going 100% solar.
I want to go green without breaking the bank.
I want to meet my sustainability goals.
I want solar to be simple.
Done, 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 done.
I want to save the planet.
Little hero, let's start with one of MTE's solar programs first. Energy Service Life. That's Middle Tennessee Electric. We're here to get done what matters most to you. Learn more at MTE.com.
It's time to talk MTCS sports. It's Cougar Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro.
Presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA, live your best life. Online at TOA.com.
We're joined by Middle Tennessee Christian School coaches to talk about their most recent games and their upcoming opponents. It's time to talk orange and white on MTCS Cougar Corner.
I'm Danny Brewer. Welcome back to Middle Tennessee Christian School Coaches Corner. Here we're talking with Christian Peterson, head football coach of the Cougars. Coach, how are we this morning?
I'm doing good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing quite well, sir. We got sunshine. It's October. The weather's good. I mean, hey, what more can you ask for?
Right. Yeah, not a whole lot to complain about right now.
Yes, sir. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Middle Tennessee Christian School. Last night's game. PCA, looks like you look pretty good there, Coach. I mean, pitched a shutout, right?
Yeah, no, I'm really proud of the kids. Every time you play, crosstown rivalry game, there's going to be so much emotion involved. It doesn't matter what sport it is, whether it's football, baseball, basketball. There's going to be so much talk about it leading up to the game, so much emotion going into the game. So really what we talked about all week was, yes, there's going to be emotion, but you can't play solely off emotion. Go out, execute, do your job, be who we've been all year. Don't try and do things you haven't done all year. And I think they did a really good job of understanding what the situation was, what we were there to accomplish, and executed really well. Really proud of them.
Coach, so let's talk a little bit about this, PCA. It's a neighborhood rivalry. This is their first year playing football. Was it important to maybe send a little bit of a message of, hey, we know you guys are playing football now, but we're still Middle Tennessee Christian School?
I mean, I think it's always, when you play a rival, it doesn't matter how long they've been playing, if you've been playing for 100 years or if you've been playing, this is the first time. I think you always want to try and come out on top, and you always want to play your best game against them. And, when I was back home in Florida, we had another school that was 5 minutes down the road that that high school got built when I was in 8th grade. So I played in the first ever game, that one as a sophomore. So I've kind of been a part of that first game atmosphere before. And I think it's different, right? Like, you're going to see those people all year long. It's different than playing Kings, who's 3 hours away. Well, you're not going to see those kids again until you play them the next year. You're going to see these BCA kids again. And you always want to be able to know when we played you on the field, we won, and we'll see you again next year. We'll put the ball down. We'll see what happens.
So the last night's game, I think, was at MTSU, on the turf at MTSU. Talk about that as far as being in a little bit bigger setting and what that was like for your kids.
So I think it's a cool experience, right? Like, not many times the high school kids get to play in a college stadium. So it was definitely cool. Really happy that they got to kind of experience that big stadium, and I think the fans really did a good job of showing up. It was pretty well packed on our side, and they had quite a bit of fans on their side too. So it was really good high school environment.
Playing on the turf, have you guys had any games on turf this year, or was that your first game on turf?
That was our second. So when we went down to Florida, we played on turf.
Okay. And does the playing on turf, does that change anything at all as far as how you game plan or does it make any difference at all?
Not really. I was a little bit more nervous going to Florida than I was this one because they have a blue turf. And so, you just don't know. I'd heard stories of when the first time you play on it, you see things out of your peripheral that you don't normally see because the grass is now blue. But when you're playing on a green turf, it's pretty much the same thing. Making sure you got your footing underneath you when you're making your cuts and stuff. But other than that, you're just, once the game starts, you're just playing football.
41-0 was the final. Let's highlight some of the kids. Yates Guerin, 8 carries, 85 yards, and a touchdown. And I think that's as your quarterback. And he was 6 for 8 with another TD pass. And talk about that kid.
Oh man, he played really well last night. He threw a touchdown pass to Eli in the end zone. That was it was a go route. Ball dropped in right in the bucket. It was right in the end zone. You can't throw a better pass than what he did there. Did a lot of really good things. He ran really hard. Really, really proud of what he did last night. And then would finish the drive, and after running or throwing for however many yards, he put his gloves on, go on kickoff, and then go play defense. And so just proud of the effort that he gave last night.
When you have a dual threat quarterback who can make it happen with his legs and then also drop it in the bucket, I like that term, drop it in the bucket. When you can do that, when you have that as a weapon offensively, I mean, makes your job a little bit easier as a head coach, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it changes how people have to play you. If you just go man across the board, we've got kids that can beat you, and we've got a quarterback that can make the throws, and so it starts to force you to play different coverages on the back end. And once you do that, now it opens back up the run game, and so it all kind of goes hand in hand. Him being able to throw the ball the way he's been able to throw the ball this year has really helped the entire offense kind of go. He might not always have the yards in each game, right? Because if we're running the ball really well, then there's no point in throwing when we're up on people. But when we have those opportunities to throw it, he's come through every time, and we've been really excited about him.
Let's talk about Eli Wilson. Talk about running the ball. Eli Wilson, 14 carries, 200 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Plus, he had another catch for a touchdown. What about that kid?
Yeah, he showed up last night. He's been battling all year. He kind of started the year a little banged up, and he finally got healthy, and then he got banged up again. And it's all soft tissue stuff. It wasn't anything like he got hit and got hurt. It was, I know he's been frustrated. So it was good to finally see him be 100% last night. We kind of gave him the ball and let him go. And he's special with the ball in his hands. And so there's times where kind of like we had said earlier this year with Brooks, you just kind of give him the ball and watch what happens. And sometimes we'll just put him in his spot and just give the ball to Eli and let's let's see what he does. And he's a special player, and really glad he's on our team. And he balled out last night. Really, really proud of him.
So when we talk about having a kid like that, I mean, just like Yates, when you have a kid like Eli Wilson, it's a joy, right? I mean, not only because he produces, but the kind of kid he is too.
Absolutely, yeah. And he's grown so much, really from when we got here, when he was a sophomore to now, especially in the leadership role. You know, he was always really good, right? He was always a really good player, and now he's doing such a good job of making sure that the younger guys understand what they're supposed to be doing, the teaching side of it, right? And really proud of that step that he's taken. You know, you talk about that senior leap, right? It happens to all the kids, and all of a sudden they blink and they're seniors, and their career's almost over, and they're looking around, and now all of a sudden there's a little bit more urgency to it. And you know, some kids handle it really well, some kids don't, and I think he's handled it fantastically. And you know, really taking, especially like those young freshmen, he's taking them under his wing, and talks about, all right, look, if you hit it here, right now you can hit the cutback lane and go, versus you hit it here, like, yeah, you're probably going to get 6, but you can hit this cutback lane, now you can get 15. And so it's been good having him there. So again, especially for those young guys, and just having that voice of someone who's done it, who's been there, who's been in the battles, and you know, again, just really proud of him.
That's an important part for a program, right? Especially when you talk about a smaller setting like what you guys have. If you know, you don't have as many players as the 5A and the 6A schools. That's really an important part of having a program. Am I correct?
Oh, absolutely. We talk about it all the time. Like, I think our culture is really strong right now. Our seniors get it. You know, they understand that it's important for them to play well, but they want to leave the program better than they found it. You know, it's important to them that when they leave, the legacy is more than just they won games. They want the legacy to be, we helped build a program that could sustain even after we left. And so really all those guys, you know, you look around, you go, Brooks and Heifel and Gabe and Jesse and Dotson, like we have so many seniors, and you know, they all do such a great job of again understanding that they want MTCS to be good for as long as possible, and they want to make sure that their fingerprints are all over the program. And it's more than, again, just, yeah, you won some games when you were here and then you left and that was it, right? They want to make sure that when they're gone, that the program's still in good hands, and they've done a really good job of helping those young guys along and teaching them our standard.
And I'm sure that you, as a head football coach, 10 years from now, if you're still at Middle Tennessee Christian, you want Eli Wilson coming back, right? You want Yates Guerin coming back. You want those kids to come back and be on the sideline and cheer and know that they help be a part of what you've got going on.
Absolutely. Yeah, we, you know, I think that's my favorite part of coaching is, you know, last night we had a bunch of former players kind of swing by, and really throughout the whole year, we've had a bunch of different guys come through, and, you know, I tell them all, like, look, because you graduated, you're not gone, right? You're no longer separated, or you're not separated from the program. Like, come to the sidelines, be down there, be excited, you know, and, you know, you were here, and when you graduate, you're still part of MTCS. You're still part of our culture. And, you know, it's always fun when those guys come back and celebrate with the kids on the sidelines, and, you know, just pass that little bit of wisdom that they've gotten. And, you know, just, it's always fun.
So we've talked about some of the kids who made the 41 in the aspect, but let's talk a little some of the kids who pitched a shutout, the zero, because a shutout is always something you can hang your hat on. Seth Harris, 10 tackles, 2 for loss, and a sack. How about that kid?
Yeah, he's he's so long, and again, he's another one. The growth that he's made since his sophomore year here has been fantastic. The work he's put in the weight room, and, you know, over summers and spring and all that stuff. It's great to see it translate to Friday nights. He's having a great year. He understands exactly what he's supposed to do. He doesn't try and do too much. He plays his role, and really excited for him. I know he got bummed last night. He made a great play off the edge and deflected a pass and picked it off, but they had called a procedural penalty, and so it got called back on because the other team had a penalty.
Right.
And so, but again, that's just a testament to he was in the right place. He was right where he was supposed to be, got his hands up, made a play, and, he's a really sure tackler, and really excited about him.
How about Brooks Jones? 13 tackles. So you had two guys with double-digit tackles. How about Brooks Jones?
Man, Brooks Jones, he's so fun to watch. He's the energy that he plays with is infectious, and we talk about it all the time. He's our Energizer Bunny, and I don't know that I've ever seen him tired. And you could put him every single snap of every single game, and his last play of the game, he's going to be just as excited as the first play. He's a special player. We actually got a really cool moment last night. He has his little brother's an 8th grader, and so late in the game we had moved him up, so we were able to get him in there for 2 or 3 snaps and let them play next to each other because it'd probably be the only time they're ever able to play a sport together. And so it was cool watching Brooks and Cooper kind of line up next to each other and get to play together. And so that was fun.
That's one of those, kind of shining moments, right, Coach?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's high school sports, right? You can't beat it. And it's different than anything else. And, I know the kids were excited about it, and so it was a really cool moment for them to be able to go out and play with each other and kind of get to experience that Friday Night Lights together. And then, after this year, it'll be kind of a passing of a guard. Brooks will graduate, and then Cooper will be a freshman, and we get to keep a Jones on the roster. So it's always a good thing, and really excited about him.
The shutout, was that important? I know it's important as a coach, but it may be more important for the players and when those guys, like the little brother was in there, important for them to maintain that shutout.
Yeah, I think it's always a bigger deal for the players. It's fun, right? Like it's fun to end a game with a 0 for the other team. I don't know that it's normally a goal we set. We want to play good defense, and if that means, young guys are in and they scored, young guys are in and they scored. But, being able to go out and finish that game, I'm proud of them being able to maintain focus even when the score got a little lopsided. That's important. And, again, really excited for them. I think they understood, that, for our seniors, this is their only shot at PCA. And so they wanted to make sure that they went out and they took their best shot, and they did. And, again, they were really pumped at the end of it. I was really excited at the end of it. I'm really happy for them. So I say it all the time. They get 4 years of high school football. Hopefully I'm coaching for a long time, but when you're playing, you get 4 years and that's it. And so it's the program will always be about the kids. It's not about me. New groups will come in and I'll coach new kids and we'll move on and do all these things. But, for that individual kid, he's got 4 years. And so it's our job as coaches to make sure that it's the best 4 years they can possibly have. And, again, I think these seniors have really taken advantage of it. And, hopefully we got quite a few more before they have to hang anything up.
9 games into your head coaching career at Middle Tennessee Christian School.
It's been a lot of fun. I say it, I tell people all the time, I go, look, the kids make me look a lot smarter than I am. We've got a really good group of kids, and we can kind of just put them out there and they know what to do, and they execute really well. We're really talented. So it's been a fun ride. It's kind of been a whirlwind, get hired when spring practice is going on. And so it's been spring practice, summer practice season. And so I think at the end of the year, I'll really be able to kind of look back and really, really appreciate everything that's kind of happened up to this point. But right now, really, it's about getting into our meeting tomorrow and getting ready to play Ezel and maintaining the same process that we've had for the first 9 games, and making sure the coaching staff's doing the same thing we're asking the players, right?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I'm a big thoroughbred racing guy, and some of my horse training buddies always say good horses make them look a whole lot smarter. So, right, kudos to you for that, Coach. A whole lot for you being a Thursday night game.
Not really. Normally we'd practice on a Sunday, but one of our former coaches, decided to get married during football season. So he's actually getting married tomorrow. Yeah, it's going to be at a wedding tomorrow. So we'll meet early Sunday, get the meeting out of the way, make sure we're still good there. And then we'll have our normal Monday, Tuesday practice. And then Wednesday will kind of be a hybrid of our Wednesday, Thursday practice. And then we'll go practice, or we'll go play a game on Thursday. Again, I think having such a senior heavy team is going to make that easier. And then, put the ball down. Let's go finish up this regular season and then get ready for the playoffs.
The focus is just being the best Middle Tennessee Christian that you can be on next Thursday night.
Absolutely. That's what we talk about all the time. When we talk about our standard, it's our energy and our effort. Right? I don't care who we're playing. And, we could be playing a 10-0 team. We can play an 0-10 team. It doesn't matter to us. Our process doesn't change. We're going to do the same things throughout the week. We're going to do the same things in game. If we play to our standard, then I like us. And so, we've done a really good job 9 weeks through of playing to our standard. And so now we've just got to make sure that we maintain that standard throughout the rest of the season.
Coach, there's something that you said to the first interview that I did with you earlier in the year. Being okay is not okay. And man, I love that. You got lots of that good stuff, all those good football quotes. Obviously your kids are listening to you, right? Because they're paying attention to what you're trying to teach them.
Yeah. They do such a good job. They understand, what they understand the process. They understand what it takes to be really good. And, they're like you said, like they're not okay with just playing okay. We play Kings 2 weeks ago, and our SEC offensive lineman's in my office going, Coach, I didn't play very well. What do I need to do to play better? And the funny thing about it is there's articles written about that game, about how great he looked in the game. And so, again, that's just a testament to him of they're not okay with just being good enough to win. Like they want to be perfect. And, and that's their goal every single week. And so when they're not, and he's not the only one. I've had other ones in my office throughout the year going, Coach, I didn't play very well. What can I do to fix it? And so when your players are so self-driven, that's what makes it fun. That's what makes it special.
Coach, appreciate you. Wish you the best of luck.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
We're going to be an educational institution that teach Bible every day. Every subject we teach, we're going to teach through a biblical perspective. In every aspect of our school, we're going to do it through a Christian perspective.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
That also means that everything we do, we have to be excellent. We feel like Christ calls us to excellence. And so that means we have to be excellent academically. That means we have to be excellent athletically, because that's what God calls us to. It's a great place to be.
Invest in your child's future in an environment that fosters Christ-centered values. To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating local athletes here in Rutherford County. Experts in joint, bones, and muscles. And with over 65 specialists, TOA has a playbook to get you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
The large majority of our kids are involved in athletics or extracurricular activities, one or the other, and most are doing multiple activities.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
And that's a great preparation for life. How many of us in our life are just doing one thing? So a well-rounded student is a huge deal.
Invest in your child's future in a Christ-centered environment with many athletic and extracurricular choices.
Without a doubt, our students have the opportunity to be involved in multiple activities.
To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org.
It's MTCS Cougar Corner. Fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro.
Presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life. Online at TOA.com.
On FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
Back here on MTCS Cougar Corner to wrap things up. Before we talk some volleyball, I did want to make mention, I didn't do this last week and I should have, but girls varsity soccer ended their season on October 5th. And just wanted to mention some names because Braden Stewart sent me information about some of the seniors, and I hope I do the names correctly. I'm going to try to do my best here, and I apologize in advance if I don't. Eliza Beatty, Alana Bratton, Bella Burdett, Matea Carmela, Ava Grubbs, Savannah Harrell, Elizabeth Smith, Jackson Stone, Lindsay Wisnowski, all players and senior managers, Jamison Bonds and Madison Busey. Braden Stewart, coach, wanted to make mention of those, and congratulations on another season for Middle Tennessee Christian School varsity soccer, and especially to those seniors. Well, the volleyball season is over with a final mark of 42-5. And here's a bit of a recap of how things went to get there. The Cougars advanced to the Final Four since the last time we talked. Second straight year that Coach Troy Berry has had that happen with the Lady Cougars. They took down a very tough Notre Dame team last Saturday to bring home a 3-2 victory. That was a road win at Notre Dame. So the Cougars got to come home and took on North Point Christian in the Final Four. And senior middle blocker Lily Watson became the new school record holder for career blocks as well. Haley Hudson in that game on Saturday, 55 assists. That's a career high and a school record. 17 digs, 3 aces, and a kill in that one. Also a career high 19 kills for Lily Watson, 6 digs, 2 blocks, and an ace. And a career high 17 kills for Jada Burns and 8 digs, a career-high 7 kills for Maddie Moore, and 2 blocks. So that put them in the Final Four. Of course, MTCS hosting the Final Four in volleyball, and with a 42-3 record, opened up the Final Four with a victory over North Point Christian. The Cougars advanced with the 3-1 win to the winners bracket final and took on district rival PCA. Anna Clay Shirley with a career-high 23 kills in the Tuesday victory over North Point Christian, a career-high 21 kills for Jada Burns, and it was 50 assists for Haley Hudson, 12 digs, 3 aces, and a kill. That takes us to their game with PCA, and boy, was this back and forth. PCA won the first set 25-21. MTCS wins the second 27-25. PCA wins the third 28-26. MTCS wins the fourth 25-18. And the decising fifth, PCA 15-8. So a 3-2 win for Providence Christian. And MTCS takes the loss. And it was a double elimination situation there. 26 kills for Jada Burns, a career high for her. Haley Hudson with 54 assists, 8 digs, and 3 aces. That put MTCS in the losers bracket, if you will, and their season comes to an end against St. George's Independent High School. 5-set battle in that one as well. Taking the first 25-16, dropping the second 25-22, and the third 25-20, battling back to win the fourth 25-20, but lose the fifth and deciding 15-11. A career-high 25 kills for Anna Clay Shirley, 14 digs and an ace, 19 kills, 5 digs and an ace for Lily Watson, and 53 assists, 17 digs for Haley Hudson. So MTCS finishes the season in third place, the third-place team in the state of Tennessee, and their second 5-set battle. Man, I tell you, it was a tough tournament. The 2023 Cougars set a new school record for 42 wins and finish out the season with their second straight third-place finish in the state. Something else. Congrats to MTCS Volleyball and Troy Berry. All right, what's coming up here? Pretty busy schedule. Today, middle school and varsity climbing is over at Climb Murfreesboro, taking on all of the obstacles there, if you will. And cheer competition is down in Huntsville this weekend, so they're very busy. On Monday, middle school girls and boys soccer taking on Davidson Academy on the road. And Tuesday, girls and boys cross country is at Sanders Ferry Park. On Thursday, girls varsity soccer tournament, that's TBA at this point. Girls middle school at Providence Christian Academy, girls and boys middle school soccer. And on Thursday night, it's the varsity football game versus Eagleville Harding. We will be there, and we'll be broadcasting the game at 7 o'clock. So hope you'll join us here on WGNS. Primetime Sports begins at 6 o'clock with Clark Blair, Rod Edwards, and Danny Brewer. Then Rod is going to come out to MTCS and join myself and John Dinkins as we broadcast the MTCS and Eagleville Harding game on Thursday night. Friday night, it's the Battle of the Borough, Oakland and Riverdale here on WGNS, and then back here next Saturday morning for the Coaches Conversation. Well, that's going to do it this morning. Thank you so very, very much for joining us here today. I want to thank John Dinkins and Danny Brewer for helping out with all the interviews this morning. Our producer, Dalton Barrett, another fine job as always. And thank you for tuning in. Next Saturday morning, back for the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner starts at 8 a.m. sharp. So be sure to join us then. And MTCS Cougar Corner next Saturday morning at 10:15. I'm Brian Barrett. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Apparently, she didn't.